Once upon a time, Hollywood decided to make Christians very, very angry.
And somehow they did it twice.
They made jokes about angels, demons, heaven, hell, the apocalypse, and somehow made movies people still love.
So tonight we're continuing the tradition.
By committing blasphemy, engaging in sacrilege, and maybe even praising them for it.
This is the end versus Dogma.
Let judgment begin!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Flick Fights!
And welcome back to Flick Fights, the show where two movies enter, one movie leaves. With me, as always, is Nick Nye. Nick, how we do?
Pretty good. Feeling pretty blasphemous today. Let's get going.
Back pain can make you feel pretty blasphemous.
Not talking about any specific back pain and lashing out in the news or anything recently. That's nothing. Don't worry about that. I'm not making weapons. It's fine.
So, I know we said in the intro, made Christians angry. I know for a fact Dogma made a lot of Christians angry.
Oh, yeah,
I don't remember hearing a bunch of backlash on this as the end. I'm sure it was there. Maybe I'm just not in that circle anymore, but...
I think it's, as long as you keep on, like, the demon devil side of shit, and then, like, heaven's reward at the end, it's fine, but, like, when you start going, like, editing shit,
That's
where it's like,
probably
no,
what it
this
was.
is wrong, then yeah, it's like, no, they fought the devil and went to heaven. Dude, it's great. Like,
I'm sure there was plenty of Christians mad when they could smoke weed in heaven, and
Yes.
when,
Not my
they're
heaven.
all getting sucked up into heaven for doing minor acts of kindness.
Yep. The bar is just that low.
But yes, if you are unaware, Dogma had just pretty recently, come off of a, fucking decade and a half long kibosh by Lionsgate.
Yeah. It wasn't, like, completely, like, banned outright or anything, but just it was impossible to access anywhere without going sailing the high seas, basically.
And you couldn't find a single press release or anything that was like, this is why. They were just like, yeah, go fuck yourself.
Exactly. Yeah. No. Yeah. Even there's a story about Kevin Smith, like, going to some contest where the award for the whole thing was like a copy of Dogma, and he's like, "Can I have it? Because I don't have one."
Yeah, that's fucked. Kevin Smith has been treated like shit for one of Hollywood's greatest treasures. But on that note, hopefully this doesn't get the episode stricken, but fuck Lionsgate, and we just won a dispute against them for copyright usage. So I'm going to do it all over again when I start using clips of Dogma.
Lionsgate, can you go suck a lion's dick?
Yes. But if you're new here, what we do is we take two movies, we discuss the plot, and then we take them through 10 rounds and declare a winner. So please share the episode, like and subscribe. If you're on Spotify and Apple, please download the episode above all, and then give us a 5-star rating, hopefully. But let's go ahead and get into tonight's tale of the tape. In our blue corner, we have red corner. We have This Is the End, came out in 2013, made by Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg, as many of these were. Judd Apatow was involved somehow. Budget was $32 million. Worldwide box office was a whopping $126 million.
Yeah. I mean, you think the budget was probably the cast and, like, the 10 minutes of CGI at the end. That's all it cost. Yeah.
I'm honestly shocked how low the budget was for the year it was made, but good on them. Runtime was 107 minutes. IMDb has it at a 6.6, while Rotten Tomato critics gave it an 83%, and the audience a 71%. Other notable films by these two, Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg, are Superbad, Pineapple Express, The Interview, all of those fucking movies. Top billed cast is James Franco, Jonah Hill, Seth Rogen, Jay Baruchel. You've also got Danny McBride, Aziz Ansari, Michael Cera, billion fucking people in this movie.
Yeah.
Most of them only for a little bit, but
Then they all die horribly, but that's part of the fun.
Yes, watching Michael Cera die was a joy of mine.
Yes. Oh, Rihanna. Yeah, Rihanna's in this.
I forgot how Rihanna dies. Oh, she gets pulled in.
Yeah. Someone grabs her.
Yeah.
I mean, if I had one last thing to grab before I died, Rihanna was right there. Martha!
It's your turn, Nick.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Like I said, back pain, medication, a little slow in the uptake today. All right. In the blue corner, we have Dogma 1999. Director Kevin Smith. Budget of $10 million. Worldwide box office of $44 million. So these two movies kind of proportionally made exactly the same amount as each other, like, relatively.
Especially for 99, yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying, yeah. Runtime 130 minutes, IMDb of 7.3, Rotten Tomato Critics of 6.7, with an audience of 85%. Other notable films from Kevin Smith are Clerks, Chasing Amy, and Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. And the theme of all those things are Jay and Silent Bob. Which, God, I mean, besides like maybe Pee-wee, I don't know if there's been like as a consistent random character across as much media.
Yeah, no, I can't think of a single thing like Jay and Silent Bob that are just a reappearing thing in movies, especially that level of fame. Like, everybody fucking knows Jay and Silent Bob.
And notable cast from Dogma are Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, Linda Florentino, and Alan Rickman, as well as Chris Tucker and Selma Hayek and George Carlin, and it's just a star-studded.
Chris Rock, not Chris Tucker, but yes.
Sorry, Chris Rock. Sorry. Pills.
I also just realized we have a theme here with you got the Kevin Smith verse and the Apatow / Seth Rogen verse.
Yeah.
It was like, I don't know if that was just like Judd Apatow's last hurdle he had to clear to feel like Kevin Smith was making a movie, a sacrilege movie.
With all his friends.
Yeah. It worked out pretty well for him, but yeah. But let's go ahead and dive into the plot of This Is the End.
Yeah. I
wondered how much this affected you, like seeing all of this I mean, you really only see outside the house for a little bit, but
oh no, the entire like conversation with like, oh, okay, no, over the hills yet, like that. I've had that conversation like 85
That's what I was wondering,
goddamn times in my life. No, I've seen most of these places. Like I've like the little place on Melrose in Beverly Hills. I've been there as an Uber Eats driver because that's the only way I'm allowed in.
Right. Well, I like the part where he says the Hollywood Hills are literally on fire. And he's like, those are hills, not mountains.
Yeah.
It's like takes 15 minutes.
Yeah, no traffic. So I take my boat. So you take my boat, I take my boat. Okay. Oh yeah. Figaro is good. Yeah. One thing I will love about this movie is I'm always lazy and just say the actors' names, and we just get to fucking do that here and be correct.
Right. Yeah. That was something I notated as soon as it started. I'm like, Nick is gonna have no problem with this.
Nope.
But yeah, it starts out with Jay Baruchel, I think his last name
Brunel?
is.
Yeah,
Jay
Baruchel.
Yeah.
Baruchel.
But yeah, skinny dork from all the Judd Apatow movies is picking up Seth Rogen at the airport. Or vice versa. Seth picking him up at the airport.
Yep.
There's two J's in these movies too that fuck me up a little bit, but yeah, he's picking him up and just says he has the best weekend ever plan, and like it did throw me off a little bit realizing that they're just themselves because they're walking through the airport and the guy's running up with a camera.
It's like, hey, Seth Rogen, do the laugh, yeah.
Then they start arguing. Jay wants to go to Carl's Jr. and he says he can't because he's on a cleanse. And he's like, did you know you're supposed to shit 6 times a day? He's like, that is not accurate.
Yeah, it's like 2. It's like, no. It's like, he's like, you just cut out gluten, man. It's like, you don't even fucking know what gluten is. It's like, yeah, it's just like bad stuff, like fat and sugar and.
It's like every time you feel bad, that's gluten.
Yeah. And he's like, so you don't smoke or drink? He's like, oh no, I'm smoking and drinking. I'm just doing a cleanse.
Right. Usually seems to be how it seems to go with those kinds of people, but yeah, then we hard cut to them just destroying Carl's Jr.
Yeah, and it's a vibe. It's
then they get to Seth's house, and the best weekend ever means a fuckload of weed, and he has his name spelled out on the table in joints.
Yeah, like weed and video game and candy. And I'm like, yeah, but we're just
that looks
used to this couch and not move for the next 3 days. So let's go.
Yeah, and then they smoke weed out of Gandalf's pipe.
Yeah,
I like when he hits it and goes, "I'm a homosexual advocate, little hobbit."
Oh yeah, the volcano, which there was like was part of a throuple at one point, and they had a volcano, and I missed the volcano more than the throuple. But God, that thing fucks you up, man. That's just like on another level of smoking.
Yeah, during their montage of getting fucked up, they have the the vaporizer into the bag and shit. I can't imagine doing all the things they do in this montage and then going and doing things. Like,
no,
I would have freaked out and went to another room. But
yeah, no, he was just having a fucking like anxiety attack with the party. It wasn't even like he was against people. He's just like, I'm too high. I'm going aside.
Yeah, in the background on the news, you see a sinkhole appears in Guatemala, and they pay absolutely zero attention to it, which is a sign of things to come. But that's also real. Like, I remember a while where there were sinkholes just appearing in South America all the time. I was like, is this Space Jam?
Yeah. No, it's just really bad mining practices from like 50 years ago.
But Seth says he's like, we should go to James Franco's housewarming party. And Jay is immediately like, he's like, Jonah Hill's going to be there. All these people are going to be there. He's like, I hate Jonah. Jonah hates me. Franco doesn't like me.
Yeah,
and he says basically he just came to spend time with his friend. And honestly, Seth Rogen is kind of shitty in this plot for not respecting that.
Yeah, and even just like, look, I'm not going to abandon you or anything. We're going to be together the whole time. Like, it's fine. But just trying to convince me. It's like, fine, I guess we'll fucking go.
Yeah, that's a shitty friend move, especially if your friend is coming to visit you from Canada and you're immediately like, let's go hang around other people, and they're like, no, I'm good, and you're still like, no, fuck you, we're going.
Or plan this and make him come like next week or something. Like, just don't fucking like subjugate him to this shit. It's like, well, I have to go, and you're just gonna be sitting in my house without me with a bunch of drugs. So, which yet again, I'm fine with. I'm like, no, like, yeah,
go ahead, man. This is great.
Yeah,
I got the 3D TV, weed and candy. Like, what?
Yeah, you might have to wake me up and have a diabetic and weed fueled coma when you come back, but I'll be fine.
As soon as they get to the party, Jay is already being a judgy dick. It says the house is too much as they're walking up.
There's a throwaway line about how Channing Tatum lives up the street.
Oh, I totally forgot about that.
Yep. Comes important later.
James Franco opens the door, calls Jay Johnny. He has two big ass paintings when he's showing him the house that are just Seth and James. It's so funny because it's like everything you imagined when they made like Pineapple Express and shit. Like, I wonder if they're best friends in real life. And they pretty early start painting this thing that James Franco is essentially in love with Seth Rogen.
Yeah, and Seth Rogen's like kind of not reciprocating it all that much. She's like, oh, that's great, man. Cool. Wow.
Yeah, he asks, is that weird? And then he's like, Jay, do you think it's weird? And he's like, I'm not really an art guy. And I love this part because I've heard the whole sandwich thing a million times. He's like, you don't like art? He's like, you ever play a video game? That's art. He's like, you ever been to Subway? That's art. I'm like, fuck you. It's not. They call themselves sandwich artists. And I'm like, that is dumb as shit.
As a former sandwich artist, we are not. We are a bunch of stoned-ass teenagers barely keeping that shit together.
Yeah, no. The former lunch lady / stoned 16-year-old putting on way too much sauce on my sandwich is not art. He says, your art. He says, your mama's pussy was the canvas. Your daddy's dick was the paintbrush. Your art.
Yeah, and you just see Jay's like, I want to go home. I want to go home. I want to leave right now.
He goes, thank you, James Franco. And you see Mindy Kaling comes up and talks to him, and she's like, if I don't fuck Michael Cera tonight, I'm going to lose my mind. And they're like, really?
They're like, you're better than that.
And then they look over, and Michael Cera's doing a bunch of lines of blow in the kitchen and slaps Rihanna's ass while she's talking to Jason Segel. And she turns around, slaps the shit out of him.
Oh, yeah.
And then Jason Segel's like, Michael, cool, man. He's like, we're playing a game, Jason.
Do you know the trivia about that particular interaction?
No.
Both slaps were real. Rihanna said, you can slap my ass as long as I get to slap you as hard as I possibly can. Yeah, and he was like, bet, do it.
Worth it. Man, I didn't think Michael Cera had it in him.
Yeah, man. Well, he's like a coke hound in this. Like, he's just like insane the entire party.
This is the only time I've liked a Michael Cera role. Jonah Hill comes up and starts talking to him, and he's being a super fake asshole. Like,
yeah.
He's
just
being
really nice Hollywood shit. Yeah.
He's like, your references are out of control. Everyone knows that.
It's like, I adopted an incontinent Cocker Spaniel recently. It's a beautiful soul. She doesn't know how to bark, so she just goes against the cage and screams.
She goes, ah! That part I laughed my ass off at. Jonah and Seth talk about the interaction, talk about new friends and old friends, and he leaves to smoke. And he's talking shit about LA to Craig Robinson and Emma Watson outside. I love this part because they're like, you're a hipster. And he's like, no, I'm not. And he's like, I bet you hate movies that are universally loved. And like, you like Forrest Gump? He's like, no, it's a horrendous piece of shit. You know?
Yeah, it's like this,
I know people like this. You people are like this.
And he's like, yeah, man, your pants a little tight and you got a bit of a mustache. I think you're a hipster.
I'm certain that there's somebody out there. I'm going to clip this that thinks Forrest Gump is a horrendous piece of shit.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, I know so many people that just like fucking. It's like, oh, people like it. I can't possibly like it. But have you seen The Seventh Seal, like, or some shit like that? Like, some fucking art film from like the 1950s that like doesn't make any goddamn sense. It's art. Like, fuck you. I'm gonna watch Pixels and turn my brain off. Suck a dick.
That's right. Franco tells this is important because it's basically a prophecy. Franco tells Seth they should do a sequel to Pineapple Express, and he's like, he tells him the plot, and he's like, I just don't know how it should end. He's like, I sacrifice myself for you, and then Danny eats me. That's how it should end.
Like, what? That's insane. It's like,
you get a couple cutscenes here. The one I like the most is where Michael Cera walks up to McLovin and goes, does Coke smell funny to you?
Yeah, he's like, I've never done Coke. It's like, well, this is the best stuff to try first. This
like,
is a Superman crew for a second.
So he's trying to sniff it out of his fucking mustache.
Yep. Oh god, then we get Take Your Panties Off, which comes up a few times in this, where we get fucking Craig Robinson and Rihanna again, I think.
Yeah.
Singing, and it's just like this weird call-in refrain thing that's got nothing but chorus. Won't be a part of it.
It looks like a lot of fun, and it's mainly just to show that Jay is still a judgy bitch. It's like everyone's singing along while he sings, and he's just like, this sucks. So yeah, he
smokes a cigarette.
Oh yeah, and then he says he's gonna walk to go get cigarettes and walks in on Michael Cera getting a blowjob while his ass is eaten and drinking a juice box. And then they're walking to the store, and he's giving Seth shit, saying, you ditched me, and he was like, no, I didn't. You keep fucking disappearing, which is true. Jay is just walking off,
wandered
being
off,
a prick.
And he's like, and tell me, is my butthole as cute as I thought? It's like a little sprinkle covered donut.
Lady at the register is being a giant asshole to a guy asking for a bathroom for his daughter. Jay says he doesn't want to go back to the party because he hates everybody. And then everything kicks off. All the windows shatter, and you see blue lights, blue beams start coming down outside.
It's like lasering through the roof. Like,
It looks like a UFO beam, straight up, with a little bit of holiness. And everyone's like convulsing as they get sucked up, and it's pretty much everyone except Seth, Jay, and the shitty cash register lady.
Even the cash register's like, why not me? Why not me? Like, she knows what's going on. And then just as she's like, fucking air conditioning just fucking splats her, which I think was the movie's warning, like, if you're not into this, get out now.
Yes. So much blood. Also, I have zero idea why the air conditioner fell through the roof. I don't know.
Well, I guess it got I think it's like destabilized all the laser beams through the roof and just like, got perforated.
I mean, just horribly built convenience store, apparently.
Yes.
Because, my God, it destroys her. And they all start running. There's cars crashing everywhere when they go outside from people being sucked out while they're driving. Planes crashing. Absolute fucking mayhem. And Seth grabs him and was like, we are going back to Franco's. And he's like, damn it.
They're running into Franco's, and like everything's fine there because not a single person at the party got raptured.
It's beautiful. It's exactly what would happen is if the apocalypse started. All the rich people in Hollywood and their mansions would have no idea. They'd be the last people to know. They're like, you didn't feel that earthquake? And Franco's like, this place is a fucking fortress. Of course we didn't feel it. And Jay starts trying to tell them all, like, we saw blue lights. It wasn't just earthquakes. And everyone starts making fun of him.
And like Seth kind of got like knocked down, so he didn't see like the lights or anything. He just saw like everything exploding in chaos. So, I mean, he's like,
well,
I
wasn't
don't know
sure how much
of
that was he actually didn't see it, or he was just being an asshole friend and didn't want to seem crazy like Jay. But
I think he knew something was going on, but like he was like under a fucking shelf, like when everyone got fucking raptured after like the first boom. So I don't think he actually saw
even
it.
If you didn't see the blue lights, what earthquake did you see that causes everything you just ran through outside?
Oh yeah, no, it's in denial. What I'm saying, he saw like 30% of some weird shit, then went into denial instead of just like seeing 100% of everything going to denial.
They're all giving him shit. Aziz Ansari's giving him shit. And then Jonah's like, guys, don't bully him. Jay, tell us what happened. Says people got sucked up into this guy, and then the house starts shaking and everyone screams and runs outside. And this was like, I believe this was the red band trailer that they used for this movie when they're all standing outside. Everyone's jaw drops as they see the Hollywood sign and everything behind it is burning.
And fucking Paul Rudd comes running up with a fucking bottle of shape like, guys, what the fuck's going on?
I love this whole scene. He comes running up screaming. Michael Cera, just completely oblivious on drugs, turns around to everyone, was like, all right, who the fuck took my phone?
I'm gonna call it, one of you has it. And then it's like the ground starts shifting and like a fucking street light just comes and impales him. He's like, oh god, what? No! And he gets lifted up, like crucifies him basically, then like his phone rings, he's like, oh, it's my podcast, embarrassing. And then just gets like sucked down into a sinkhole into hell.
I know that they did that for people like me that were like, I just fucking can't stand Michael Cera. You just, the most brutal death imaginable. And so the hole opens up and people start falling in. And for some reason, Rihanna doesn't fucking move at all. And it just stands there and waits to fall in.
I mean, fight or freeze. We always read about the freeze.
Right. Paul Rudd runs away and just squishes the shit out of some girl's head like it's a fucking water balloon.
I don't know if it was supposed to be someone, like, he says a name, but I don't know if it was supposed to be a celebrity or something.
I don't know.
But Z's falls in, is like holding on, and fucking Kevin Hart falls in and fucking eats shit.
He's like holding on to Kevin's leg and he starts kicking his face. He's like, fuck off of me, Aziz. And then his arm gets cut off and he's trying to pull the arm off of him. David Krumholtz, the Jewish dude from White Castle that we love. I love that whole part. He's looking at Jay and he's like, all right, I need you to grab my arm and I'm going to swing across. You're going to hold my whole weight. He's like, I got you. He's like, you're going to hold my whole weight. And he's like, yeah. He's like, you're going to hold my whole weight.
It's like not even try. He's just like, oh, just like fucking immediately, but she's like, yeah.
I love that. He falls down, dies immediately, and then Jay crawls out.
Yeah. Oh yeah. At one point too, like Daniel Craig, like Aziz is like still halfway out. He's like Daniel, help me. He's like, nope, too late. It's like, runs away.
He does that, and then as soon as they get inside, Craig Robinson is like, I tried to save Aziz, and they're all like, oh my god, I'm sorry. Jonah tells Franco to lower he's like, lower your voice, you're freaking out, Jay. Jay, do you need some water? He's got to stay hydrated. Can we get Jay some water? And it's funny because that's the one thing Jay is right about, because he's a judgy prick for everyone in this movie, but Jonah, turns out way later, is a psycho. He's Cartman.
Yeah. It's a veneer of goodness.
He pulls a TV out of the floor. They all invited a TV for a moment.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, it's just like, Air Force One is down, sinkholes over the world is burning, and then he just fucking like cuts off like right after that. They're like, oh shit, okay, well.
It's a sheltered place, and then they lose signal, and Jay immediately goes, well, we should probably go back to your place, Seth. And he's like, are you out of your fucking mind? So this is when it starts to switch roles a little bit, like it's being super unreasonable.
Yeah, and he's like, no, it's like, we're gonna stay here because we're actors, and actors will get saved first because we're important.
Yes. He says we're not leaving.
It's like, we're soft, we're all soft. I have a victim mentality. We're not going out there.
Shit.
We pretend to be hard.
Craig says we got to board this place up, and it's like pulling a painting down, and James starts yelling at him. He's like, don't do that. And then right then a helicopter crashes outside. The blade flies through the window and right by Craig, and he holds up a little cut on his finger. It's like, fuck your house, Franco. So then he agrees, and they start, you get a montage to War Pigs, which was cool. They're boarding up. They're putting duct tape over cracks in the concrete.
Yeah, it's so bad. They're so incompetent. Like, even like they're like boarding the windows up with like paintings. It's like just like a curtain, basically. It's nothing.
Absolute morons.
Like so many times, someone just like kicks through it like immediately. Like, no resistance whatsoever.
I also like he walks up and is like, y'all need this dick? It's just like a dick sculpture.
He's like, I'm taking this dick. My dick.
Jay pulls down the Rogan painting to use, and he's like, no, take the Franco.
Take me.
And then they go over their inventory. He goes, we have 12 bottles of water, 56 beers, 2 vodkas, 4 whiskeys, 6 bottles of wine, tequila, Nutella, cheese, pizza, eggs, bananas, apple, bacon, steaks, blah, 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 blah. And then they start going over their drugs, which is a half-ounce sour diesel, 3.5 grams of Grandmaster Kush. By the way, I don't know anybody that says 3.5 grams and not just an eighth.
No.
1 ounce of shrooms, 15 pills of ecstasy, a porno mag, a baseball bat, and the video camera from 127 hours.
Yes. And
and
Milky Way.
Yeah, the Milky Way becomes super important, and a functional revolver from the movie Fly
Yes.
Boys. And they get a scene where they're freaking out because James is handling it horribly for gun control, and then Jonah takes it and is like putting it in his mouth and stuff. It's
which
horrible.
Also, PSA, everybody, even a gun that, isn't a real revolver and fires blanks can still kill you.
Oh, yeah.
Don't fuck around with it.
And then they all argue over the Milky Way. They say we take 1/5 of everything.
Yep.
And then their first night, they're all sleeping in different places, and Jay starts freaking out because he's hearing big thunderous footsteps, and it's just Seth, and he's too scared to sleep alone. And this is one of the lines me and Keith have quoted the most, where he's like, I'm a lone wolf like DMX. He's like, DMX wasn't a lone wolf. Hey, the Rough Rider crew. You can't stop, drop, open up shop alone.
And just like slowly fucking keeps having so they'll get jump scared by another fucking party member, and they all just like in between the cushions on the floor and shit. And Jonah Hill just comes in, like gets between fucking everybody and just like, okay, we're gonna Scarface. It's like, oh, my dick to butt to dick, just a dick. Okay, Scarface.
Yeah, Jonah Hill's is my favorite because they after people pour in, he's just standing there. He just appeared. He's like, guys, I can hear everything you're saying.
It's a crazy open floor plan.
The next morning opens up with a shot of Danny McBride has been asleep in the bathtub, and you see just smoke coming up. He pisses all over the toilet. He's like dancing to Cypress Hill.
Yep.
It's exact everything that you would think Danny McBride would be. He's like one of the only ones that is his character in movies in real life.
Yeah. And he just like comes down and sees all the supplies and just starts like showering in the water and cooks everything in one shot. And everyone comes in and starts freaking out. Like, oh my God, Danny's here and he's eating more fucking food.
He's like, guys, I'm sure the Green Goblin can afford more bacon. And he's like, wait, I know what happened. You guys did acid. James probably sucked some dick. And they're like, that's not what happened. He's like, you're telling me James Franco didn't suck any dick last night? Now I know y'all are lying.
And even James Franco's kind of like, well, you see this weird expression on his face for a second.
And then he says, Jonah Hill says there was a lot of fatalities last night. And he's like, you're an Oscar-winning actor, Jonah. You got to do better than that. He's like, fatalities. He's like, all right, that was good.
Yeah, then like the door starts getting kicked in, like some random guy just like rams his head through it. He's like, please, let me in, let me in. It's like, and I don't know if we should let him in, man. We barred the door to like not let people in. We're gonna let the first person that comes to the door in.
He's like, what if he wants to rape us? And Seth Rogen's like, I used to get held down and titty fucked at camp. And he's like, you gonna titty fuck us? He's like, I'll titty fuck you if you want me to. I'll fuck you so good.
Yeah.
And then his head somehow, I don't even understand how exactly.
I'm guessing something like I'm guessing something like clawed him at the door, basically.
Right.
The head just like rolls inside, and then they proceed to play soccer with his head for like 30 seconds.
And that's the moment Danny figures out this is all real. He's like, this is fucking real. And they start kicking the head around. There's blood everywhere.
Oh, yeah, and it's like, we gotta take him outside. He picks like, oh God, he was blinking at me. Oh God.
Oh, and then they start doing video confessionals with the 127 hours camera.
Yeah.
And you see Franco's bitching about Danny McBride, like he hates him, and they've been growing apart for a long time, doesn't want to be friends with him. And you see Danny McBride walk up behind him and just listen for a minute. And
like the entire thing, yeah.
He listens, knocks, and then he just kind of walks off without saying anything to him. And he's like, fuck that guy. And they're like, for all we know, the Lakers just won, and that's the reason all this is happening.
Yeah, they're trying to rationalize it. There's an earthquake or something. It's like it's always a sinkhole in Mexico. That's why they call it Sinkhole de Mayo.
That was one of the few jokes that I was like, that was dumb as hell.
Yeah.
But Jay is the first one to be like, no, I'm pretty sure this is the biblical apocalypse, and
Yeah.
says quotes revelations to them, and he's like, the Hollywood Hills are literally engulfed in flames, and that's when Craig Robinson is like, those are hills, not mountains. But he reads more Revelations and reads the part about the devil, and then shows them all an illustration in the Bible, which is not something I've ever seen before.
Yeah.
But the picture of the devil ends up being exactly what the devil looks like,
Yep.
which is horseshit. But
Yeah, and then James Franco kind of brings up, it's like, so if you're telling us like none of us got raptured, though, you're saying we're all bad people. That means you're a bad person too, Jay.
yeah, he actually kind of stuns him with that one. He was like, "Doesn't feel so good, does it?" And he just kind of, shit, I am a piece of shit. They're playing like stir crazy music and showing a montage.
Yeah, days pass. It seems at this point. Yeah,
Danny's jerking off a lot, portioning out cheese. Frank, this is important later. Franco pulls Seth off and sneaks him some crackers, and he puts them in his balls. And then it cuts to him going, "Let's do all the drugs," and he's holding all the drugs, and he's like, "I really don't want to." He's like, "You should have thought about that before you drank that can full of ecstasy." And he's like,
"Yeah." Then they proceed to seem what had a really good time.
Yeah, it looks like a blast. Nobody freaks out. But you get like Gangnam Style plays and the color trails and everything.
You know, the last time I ever went hard, it was a hippie flip with that throuple. That was a good night.
And this throuple just keeps coming up.
It was a period of my life. It was a swinger situation.
You got to leave tidbits of this throughout all the episodes. And every week people could just tune in to hear more about the throuple.
Yeah.
Until the other people in the throuple see it and start watching as well.
Get the deep Nick lore.
And then it cuts to, they do a homemade Pineapple Express 2 trailer. And real talk, I really wish this was a thing.
Yeah.
And they play Paper Planes, which was,
yep.
I think that movie, I remember Paper Planes being on the radio, but Pineapple Express really blew it over the top, I think. But they got a homemade trailer where everything is just more of the first one. They have the crucifix joint, but it's like 3 crucifix joints.
Yeah. Doing a car chase with Hot Wheels.
Forever.
Yeah, it's like objectively terrible because none of them are directors.
But underneath all that, the plot that they narrate is pretty good. Their whole plan is to assassinate Woody Harrelson because he's being the spokesperson to make weed legal, which will lose Red Money, who's a big drug dealer now. And I love Jonah Hill's impression of Woody Harrelson. He's like, "It's the people's weed." And it shows them watching it on their TV, and they're like, "How about we not do Your Highness too?" And I'm like, "Hey, fuck you. I love that movie, you piece of shit."
I know, there was some good butt in that movie.
It's great, dude. Yeah, butt included. And then somebody starts smashing through the door, and it's Emma Watson. And she is apparently the only one of the Hollywood people that has survival instincts because she looks badass.
Scrappy British tip of her lipness.
Yes. It's the only time I was attracted to Emma Watson.
Well,
which
good,
is
because
good.
most of the
All
time
of you people that were attracted to her in Harry Potter are fucking weird.
No, yeah. I think there was a fucking countdown to when she became 18, you fucking creepy bastards.
Nasty.
Which started when she was 12.
I guess unless you were young when those movies were made, that would make a little more sense, but
guarantee it wasn't a 12-year-old hosting and fucking programming that fucking webpage. Guarantee
No, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, she says she hid the drain pipe for 3 days and heard a bunch of growling. And Jay is like, "Did you see any demons or anything?" basically. And she's like, "I think it's obvious this is a zombie invasion." And I can't believe not one person was like, "Well, zombies don't invade." That's not. James tells her to go upstairs and rest. And then when he comes out from showing her the room, they're all crowded outside. And they start arguing about sharing resources with another person. Danny McBride cracks me up because he's like, "Well, I, for one, am psyched to ask her a bunch of questions about what her experience was like making Harry Potter."
Yeah, I love those movies.
There's a couple moments in this where he seems genuine, and I don't know why it really stuck out. Like this part where he's like, Jay's like, "We need to address the elephant in the room," with his nerdy self. And they're like, "Don't talk about Craig like that." And he's like, "What?"
Yeah. It's kind of racist, man.
He's like, "One girl in a house of men, it's important she feels safe and comfortable." And then Danny goes, he's talking about raping her. Raping her. Sorry.
Yeah. And then basically all she hears from the other room is grape.
Yeah. And I like that he's like, he says us giving a grapey vibe, and they're like, nothing was grapey until you brought it up, Jay.
Yeah.
Real, true. And then
Yeah, it's like, you
Franco's like,
smelled
if
the Delta
anyone
in
here
there.
is gonna grape her, it's Danny. And he's like, what the fuck, Franco? But she hears that and comes out with an axe and is like, back the fuck up. And Seth
Yeah.
is like, no, listen. And he just butts him with the fucking axe and knocks his ass down.
Give me all your drinks. Just fucking grabs the bag and just fucking runs back out into the apocalypse. He goes back to the fucking confessionals like, Hermione stole all of our shit.
Gives a whole new meaning to I choose the bear.
Yeah.
I also love that in the middle of that, Jonah Hill's like, it's me, Jonah, America's sweetheart. Listen. And she's like, back the fuck off. And we get some more confessionals. Yeah, Danny says Hermione just jacked all of her water. He says Jay brought up graping her because he knows he's about 2 minutes from becoming the house bitch himself.
Bitch, yeah.
Then we cut to Franco saying the door to the basement is outside, and I know for sure there's at least 2 drugs of water in there. And so they light one match and they all draw matches to see who's gonna have to go out there.
And fucking Craig pulls the burnt match first, like without anyone pulling anything else.
Yeah, immediately. And Franco immediately says, I wish it was someone else, and like nods at Danny McBride.
Yep.
And they tie a rope to him and send him out. When he goes out there, everything is on fire. There's ashes everywhere. You can't see shit.
like, yeah. He's
Which
like
is a great
crawling
trick for
around the edge of
not
the house.
having to build a set.
Yes. Which also, though, when the LA fires are happening, that's kind of what it fucking looks like.
Right.
And
I wonder if
he
they
sneaks
used any
around.
footage from the LA fighters for this.
I feel that'd be immoral, but we have a lot of it.
Would you be shocked though? Immoral?
Nah.
Who cares?
But yeah, he sneaks around and like they have like a rope attached to them, which like they like said they'll pull him back when it's like way too short. It just goes out of their hands and
Yeah, immediately.
yeah. And he goes around the corner and fucking like the door is all jacked up and been like slashed at by like some demon claws already.
Yeah. Yeah, he starts screaming when he sees something and then busts through. He yells, pull the rope. They're like, we don't have it. And then he busts through the door. And then something starts pulling him back out. And Jay's like, throw me the knife. And fucking Jonah throws it just perfectly into his fucking thigh.
Yeah. Which that like should have killed him. Like that's like a fucking like femoral artery right there.
Yeah, with no supplies, no medical, nothing. That should have been it for Jay.
Yeah. But it's never even remarked upon again, and they fucking pull him back in and cut the rope. And...
Yeah, the leg wound never comes up again.
No.
But they cut the rope. Yeah, he says he's not going back out there anymore. And then Franco's like, this is so frustrating. It's like right beneath us, like right there, from here through there. And they're all like, what the fuck do you mean? He's like, it's underneath the floor. I'm like, what did you guys think a basement was? Like,
yeah,
what?
Which it's shitty that he doesn't have indoor access to his basement, but I guess like
Yeah,
he
that's
designed
dumb
the
as
house,
hell.
so.
But then they all start taking shifts, breaking through the concrete of the floor, Shawshank Redemption style. And Craig is asking Jay if he really thinks it's the apocalypse. Like, takes him off to the side and like,
He's
what
like,
do we
you
do?
saw something out there, like.
Right. And he's like, what do we do? And he's basically like, just be better people. Like, we can still, he says, the Bible says we can still prove ourselves. For the record, no, it does not. It just says absolutely nothing about a second chance. The rapture happens and you're still here. It's over.
Yeah, that's kind of the last fucking chopper out of Saigon, from what I understand biblically.
In fact, I specifically remember me freaking out after Left Behind came out and asking our pastor about it, like, if you are left behind. And he basically said that there's a chance that you could suffer through the apocalypse with good intentions, that afterwards you get to be in a shittier version of heaven.
Yep.
I don't know if there's any truth to that within the religion, but that's what he told me. But you see that they're not even putting any effort remotely into digging this hole. You see Seth Rogen just like kind of plinking at it with a crowbar.
But also while they're up at the talking about religion, like Danny McBride's like, I hear everything. And just like slides away at the bottom of the fucking stairs.
And then Franco comes down and yells at everybody for jizzing on the magazine. And then Danny's like, you know what? It was me. And they have this back and forth. My favorite part of their whole back and forth is he's like, you didn't have any brothers to teach you to come in a sock or something? And he's like, no, I grew up in a house of women. He's like, well, I highly doubt that they taught you could just come wherever the fuck you wanted.
It's like, it's explosive. It gets everywhere. You have to hold on. I hope it doesn't get my mouth and eyes.
He's like, if you jerk off again, I'm going to shoot your dick off. He's like, you don't have enough bullets, bitch. And then he gets pissed and walks off and leaves Seth by himself digging this hole.
Yep.
He's like, it's too late, Seth. He's like, no, it's not. You could turn back around.
Fucked you way too far.
So Jay comes to help him.
Yeah. They start chipping away at the floor, and they start having a conversation about like Taco Bell and fucking tigers and shit.
Yeah, they reminisce about when they were broke, and he gave him a $20 gift card to Taco Bell. I bet he couldn't eat it all at once, and then he shit himself during Gladiator. And then while they're talking, they just fall through the fucking floor, which again should have broken a bone or something. There's rebar in there. Yeah. They could have cut themselves open. But they get a flashlight looking around and get scared immediately by the cutout of James Franco's goblet, Green Goblin, which was awful, by the way. It comes up twice in this movie. That's his worst role. But they find the water, and then next episode by Dr. Dre starts playing as they have a water party.
Yes.
And everyone snaps at Danny as he gets up to get a second little martini glass of water. And he starts flipping out and is like, I'm tired of all these fucking rules. I shouldn't have to drink the same amount of water as somebody half my size, and points at Jay. And then he's like, all right, I'm done. Fine. No more water. And then just grabs a jug and starts dumping it everywhere. And I would have killed him. Real talk, if it's apocalypse time, he's dying right there.
Yeah, that's life or death. You just fucking like cut like 4 days off of our fucking survival time. Yeah, no, it's...
And they all are so weak bitches, they let him get to the second jug.
Yeah, and even like, he's like, oh, you made me do that for ganging up on me. Like some like sociopath shit.
And then Franco points the gun at him. It's so funny because it's a little like pilot's pistol from World War II, so the barrel's like this big. Yeah. And he grabs it and puts it in his mouth. He's like, that's what I thought, nerd. And then Danny's asleep in a tuxedo for some reason.
Yep.
And Franco's saying we got to get rid of him. He's like, he's gained weight since we've been here. Fucker's got to go.
And like they kind of like go to like, it's like an elimination Big Brother. They're all sitting on the couch around him. It's like, but I made you breakfast. It's like, dude, you came with everything. It was a come for help.
Yeah. He actually like makes them feel bad. He's like, ever since I was a baby, I partied too hard. I wouldn't just suck on my mom's titties. I'd smack them around and motorboat them. He's like, those were tears from my penis, homie. That was a come for help. They're like, you don't have to go, daddy. And they're like all feeling bad and walking him out. And he's like, he asks for something for protection. So they give him the pistol. And he's like, you all are so fucking stupid. And just bang, 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 bang. And then it's blanks. He's like, you all are going to send me out with a gun full of blanks? They're like, don't turn this around on us. And then he gives them all like a roast right before he leaves.
Yeah, just like fucking calls them all fucking like horrible, shitty, shallow people. And he's like, you know what? You didn't kick me out. I chose to leave. You said I'd come back, and I said no. Fuck y'all. And just like walks up and like double the bird fucking into the apocalypse.
But he does point out, he calls out everybody for being pretentious, but then he points out to Jay, he's like, you act all high and mighty. He's like, when you came back a couple months ago and stayed at the Four Seasons, and specifically told me not to tell Seth because you always promise you stay with him. And that bothered Seth for the rest of the fucking movie.
Got bigger problems, man.
But he does fucking this as he disappears into the smoke. And then Jonah, right after he leaves, is like, I know this is probably my fault because I put you on a pedestal, Jay, but you should not be dishonest with your friends. You really let me down. And then Jay just decks him.
Cut to Jonah in bed, and he's praying. He's like, dear God, it's like, please help me get out of this. And like, all it's based off, and also it's like, please kill Jay.
He's like, if you could just off him, that would be so tight. I also like when he starts his prayer. He's like, dear God, it's me, Jonah Hill from Moneyball.
Yeah.
But yeah, he says Jay might be the worst person you ever created, and please kill him. And then right after that, this is probably every time somebody said you have to watch this is the end when it was in theaters. I think this was the part they bring up. But he's sleeping, and you get a POV of something walking into Jonah's room, and you see like the shadow, and then it looks at its own reflection. It's a full-on fucking horned demon.
Yeah, with like a horse dick.
With a fucking horse dick. It's gigantic. He like scratches his leg and shit. He's like, seriously, Craig, stop. And then he wakes up to it. He says, this is no dream. And then it cuts to him in front of the confessional camera. It's like, so something not so chill happened last night. And then you also see Craig saying, I just drank my own pee for the first time. it ain't that bad, and pulls out a fucking glass full of piss. And you get a shot of Seth sitting there shirtless, leaning over, pissing into his own mouth. But then they come up with the plan to raid their neighbors. And the whole time they're talking and get ready to draw matches, Jonah's like looking around like he hears voices and he looks all skeezed out and everything. They're like, you good? He's like, I'm fine. He watches Jay pull his match and he doesn't get the burnt one. He's like, damn it.
And they all pull it, and then fucking Seth gets the last one. He's like, not going. Fuck y'all. I decline. I opt out.
They're like, what do you mean? He's like, let me make this clear. I'm not fucking going. And he's like, why don't you go, Mr. Self-Righteous, to Jay? And he's like, I will, because I have something called honor. And then Craig volunteers to go with him because they had their little talk about doing good stuff. But then he's also like, honestly, it's because you're too skinny and I don't think you'll carry enough food. They find the house, and immediately when they find the house back in the other house, Jonah is having a seizure and pouring out black bile from his voice.
Yeah, they think he has like low blood sugar. It's like, get the Milky Way.
Yeah, they try to shove it into his mouth, and then you hear a demon voice that goes, you will drown in a river of blood. Judgment is nigh. They're packing up. They find the jackpot over at the next house, and he's like, all right, let's go back. And Jay's like, well, why? He's like, we could stay here. I'd give you a good life, Craig. And he's like, all I know is I'm scared and our friends need help. And yeah, Jay is just a total piece of shit throughout the rest of this movie.
They're about to go back, like, wait a minute, I heard like a creak, and then just a fucking like window explodes behind them, and a fucking demon dog from Doom fucking comes in.
It's terrifying. They had some pretty solid effects when it came to demons and shit and that, but that dog is scary as fuck, and it's huge.
Yeah, it's got horns like made of lava. You can like see into its like lava stomach. Like
I immediately was like, is this what the hellhounds are supposed to be in D&D? Because it's way scarier. But he pukes out like a fire hose. Jonah Hill does a bunch of black ichor and shit, and looks all gray and demony now.
Yeah, straight up Exorcist reference. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, then they get really into the Exorcist references. But
yes,
Craig tackles Jay out a door before the demon dog gets him, and Seth and Jay are trying to hide from Jonah. He finds him in the closet because he hears him whispering, and then they all fall down the stairs together, running away from him right as Jay and Craig come back in. And he's like, Jonah's a demon and he's chasing us. And then Jay just rocks his shit with a bat, and he's like, I was supposed to do that, right?
I'm like, yeah, good. And then we got them all lashed and tied down to a fucking bed now. And
Yes. You also get some more talk about being an apocalypse and what to do. And he's like, just be good people. He says Jesus Christ. He's like, you also can't say that anymore.
Yeah, they start like arguing like the semantics of like what taking the Lord's name in vain. It's like, no, but it's like the Holy Trinity, but it was God, right? It's just like...
Yeah. And Franco's like, but we're actors. We bring joy to people. He's like, yeah, but we also get paid a lot of money and we're pieces of shit. Yeah. And then they start admitting to shit. And Craig Robinson says when he got a bar fight over a foosball game, and because the guy said he didn't call spinnies, and I think he says he killed him.
No, he's like, gouge his eye out. The first one was an accident. The second one, though, I just kind of went for it. He's like, girls like, oh God. And even yeah, and they even fucking James Franco's like, I'm not that good of a person either. There was like this one time I slept with Lindsay Lohan, and like she was like really drunk and didn't know who I was, and she kept calling me Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, he's like, I said, call me the Prince of Persia. That was a little too close to reality, turns out. Yeah. But the lights go out, they hear Jonah demon noises, and Jay says he knows what to do. And then you get the exorcism of Jonah Hill pops up on the screen.
Yes.
And I don't know why they didn't just go ahead and play the Exorcist music. They did Phantom at the Opera instead.
Yeah, probably couldn't get the rights or something like that. It's like Tubular Bells is a whole fucking thing, yeah.
I just couldn't believe they did it in fucking Master of Disguise, but they couldn't afford it in this.
Yeah.
But he has made a makeshift cross out of spatulas, and I don't understand the way this scene plays out. It really pissed me off, honestly.
Yep.
Because it's working. At first he's just mocking him, and he's like, "The power of Christ compels you." And really famous scene from the movie. He's like, "Does it, Jay? I gotta tell you, it's not that compelling." But then he gets up on the bed and starts doing it, and it starts working. He's like freaking out.
Like, oh, it kind of stings a little bit.
Yeah.
Stop it.
And also, what happened to the demon? I just realized the demon does
Oh,
this and like turns.
yeah.
Is he in him now?
Yeah, no, he's in him, and then he fucking gets like burned to death and crushed at the end. Yeah.
Okay. I guess I always just thought he fucked his butt and dipped. I guess.
No, I guess Jeff possessed him or something. I don't know.
But yeah, then it starts working. The bed's levitating and he's screaming and shit. He's like, seriously, fuck off.
Yep.
But then for some reason, Seth is like, gets all pissy and just pulls Jay off the bed and it stops. And I'm like, what the fuck was that about? And he shoves him back and is like, why did you do that? And I'm like, seriously though, what the hell, Seth?
Yeah, and then the candle just like ignites the bed and the whole thing just starts going up.
Yeah, Franco's trying to get him to focus, and while they're fighting everything, I like Demon Jonah chiming in on their argument. He's like, you're a fucking sellout, Seth. And he's like, you did fucking sell out. Everybody says. Is great. And then, yeah, burns the bed down, and then he's free from the bed. Oh, also before
fire.
that, they see Franco's secret stash.
Of food. Yeah, he's been hoarding the whole time. It's like a lot of food.
Yeah, way more than the crackers they had showed earlier. And,
like, where they had off the bat. Like, he had like a whole second fridge in his fucking room, basically.
Yeah, he had like soda, drinks in there and shit, and he only shared a couple crackers with Seth. So, but yeah, flaming Jonah demon chases them and jumps off the balcony in front of them. But now the whole house is catching on fire, and they pull back the barricade, and Beam falls and kills Jonah demon. And then they get outside, and the whole house collapses. And then Jay's like, hey, guys, we are out in the open now. And immediately a fucking demon lands on their Prius.
Yep. And Craig's like, okay, I'm going to sacrifice myself for you guys. You guys run for the car, and I'll fucking try to fucking take his attention away.
And yeah, he says, last thing I do on this planet isn't for me. And he's like, you don't have. Jay's like, you don't have to do that. But Seth is like, thank you.
Yep. Yeah, he just starts like pooping and hollering and fucking just like, come get it, bitch. Like, I will fuck you raw.
He says, take your panties off. And then right before the demon gets him, a big blue light comes down and takes Craig, and they drive off. I like when he starts convulsing. He's like, fuck yeah. And they drive under him as he ascends to heaven. And then they're like, you realize what that means? Like, he sacrificed himself for us, so that means we can get out of here. And then they all start acting super fake nice to each other in the car, and it doesn't happen immediately. And they're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's like, I thought it was going to work already. You're giving up already? Yeah.
And then they get T-boned by a semi, and you see Apocalypse like Mad Max Fury Road looking people pulling them out.
And man, I know it's only been like 2 weeks or some shit like that, but you know there were some motherfuckers that were just like waiting for that.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
They were ready. Yeah.
Especially in LA. I feel like all of this was on standby, all the wardrobe and shit. Like, this isn't tattered clothes, this is tattered clothes wardrobe.
It's broke into the back lots.
You hear music start playing, and then you see like a slow pan up from a pair of Jordans, and you see Danny McBride with a human skull on his head, and he comes out with a human on a leash. He's like, the timing couldn't be more perfect. It's been a long time since we've eaten, and you three look delicious. And they're like, what the fuck, dude? He's like, I'm a cannibal, hombre.
See, I got a gimp. I do what I want. It's like, Channing Tatum. It's like, say hi, Channing. He's like, hey, guys.
He's like, I do whatever I want. I butt fuck this dude. And he starts dry humping his leg and shit. It's fucking great. And James tries to immediately copy what he just saw Craig do. It was like, I'm going to make a diversion for them. Full-on sacrifice for you, dog. Just like Pineapple Express. And he hits them with a big rock. And then Seth and Jay start running. And for a minute, Franco was like holding his own, fighting like 5 fucking people.
And then the fucking laser beam comes down and he starts ascending. He's like, yeah, fuck you, Daddy, suck a dick. And then just fucking like, gets shut off.
He's like, why? And he says, because you were being too petty, Franco.
Tom Petty, for some reason.
He says, I may not have been invited to your party, but you're the guest of honor at mine, and bites his fucking nose off. It goes, how fucking crazy is this? It starts.
Yeah, just like the entire fucking cannibal crew just like pounces on him, and fucking Craig or Jay and fucking Seth like go and hide under a fucking like little piece of metal. They're like, we're so fucked.
Yeah, somehow it works, and they're like talking about why he got dropped. Basically, give me a cocky prick, and then they hear huge thuds, and they pop out from the rubble and look, and you see Satan with his giant cock. Like, I don't know whose
Yep.
obsession was. Like, they're like, first things first, all the demons are hung like fucking horses, and we're gonna see it a lot. It was kind of like whoever made the Watchmen movie was just like, big
Yeah.
blue swinging dick. It's got to be there.
Yep. It's
Um,
important to the plot somehow.
It's walking directly towards them, and the devil bends down, and serpents come out of his back, and they start apologizing to each other and making up because they're about to die. And they're like, let's die together and hug. And the devil strikes, and a blue light comes down and cuts off a serpent's head, but it's only taking Jay for some reason.
Yeah. And he
Not
grabs
100%
Seth. He's
sure
like,
why.
come with me. And fucking, I guess like Seth was still holding on like some petty shit the entire time. Like, you didn't come to see me. Shit. Like he was still like, it still really bothered him. He was still fucking holding a grudge, I guess.
Yeah.
Whereas like Jake kind of like let go.
I kind of thought it would have been better if Jay was the last one left and had to deal
Yeah.
with the fact that he was the biggest asshole. But yeah, he tries to pull Seth up, and they get stuck like halfway up. And then Seth's like, you have to let go. And he's like, I love you. I don't want to
Yeah.
hold you back anymore, and let's go. And then the crescendo of I will always love you hits right when the
Yep.
fucking blue light hits him. It is beautiful.
Yeah, and like it's like about to go down to Satan's throat, and like the laser cuts through his throat, cuts down, cuts his dick off.
Yeah, dude. I love it. It's so off to the side, but when they're getting sucked up, you see the devil holding his cock, looking up.
Yeah. They just get like taken into heaven, and fucking Craig is fucking there waiting for him.
Yeah, they at the pearly gates, Craig Robinson is there, and all their clothes are all turned like white and silver now. I like that Seth Rogen has like the hat and everything just white, and Craig has a halo. And he's like, "Welcome to heaven, motherfuckers."
Yeah,
And
and even his shirt's like white and silver. Take your panties off, still.
and has the towel still and everything, and gives them halos, and then they dink halos, and they like. He's like, anything you can imagine, you get it, and they like pulls out a joint, lights it off of his halo, and they're like, "Go ahead, Jay, make a wish." And he's like, "Anything?" And he closes his eyes, and then you hear everybody. And I'm like, so hold on, does that mean you can wish people to heaven? Like,
Or they were there and you get forcibly yanked them from them, or is this a projection? It's not really the Backstreet Boys. I don't know, but we got questions here.
The Backstreet Boys are in hell, literally, because they're constantly being summoned to perform. But then, yeah, that's the end. And I love the credits song, by the way. They had a new Black Sabbath album right at the same time as this, so they put an end of the beginning. It was great. Total side note, but that album fucked.
Nice.
But that is the end. I was shocked there wasn't a bunch of after credits like bloopers
Yeah.
and shit. But
I guess where are they now is heaven. So I mean,
yeah. I would have loved to see like a mid-credit scene of Danny McBride in hell, though. That would have been funny.
Yeah. Like, this ain't that bad. Just like kind of chill with it, like fitting in.
Still butt fucking Channing Tatum in hell.
Yep.
I think this might be the biggest time gap we've had between two movies so far. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's 99 to 2013. And maybe not the biggest one, but it's pretty big.
Yeah. But yeah, the movie opens up with something I don't think was in the original release, which is like a massive fucking disclaimer in the beginning.
I'm certain it wasn't in the original. I don't remember
Yep.
this at all, but it's funny as hell. And yeah, it basically says everything is satire. This is all just a joke. And then they say,
Yeah.
remember, even God has a sense of humor. Look at the platypus. And then
Yeah.
another one comes on. We apologize to all the platypus enthusiasts out there. But we open on just an old man on a boardwalk with a skee ball. Apparently a whole building dedicated to the skee ball
Yep.
behind him. And just an old man looking at the sea. And you see these three roller skate
Yeah.
hockey boys come up behind him and hear flies buzzing.
Yep. And then they just kind of fly forward and beat the shit of him. And so average New Jersey Monday morning.
All checks out. Could have been the opening to Sopranos.
Yep. And yeah, we get a little opening with the late great legend himself, George Carlin.
It was beautiful, dude.
Yep.
Yeah, he's a Catholic cardinal, and he's introducing the rebranding of the Catholic Church. Nick, go ahead and show him.
Yes, we are introduced to Buddy Christ here.
Yes, you may know him from the memes that were made of that still shot. Exactly. Yep, just like that. But yeah, straight up, he basically is like, Catholicism can give you the willies, even the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah, and it's like, we're retiring the crucifix. It's depressing. Now we're introducing Buddy Christ, and that's not the official name, but it's just a name we're kicking around the diocese a little bit.
This legit could have just been a George Carlin stand-up bit where he's just making fun of religion. It is beautiful.
And if anyone here watching doesn't know who George Carlin is, turn this video off right now. Go watch George Carlin, then come back.
And make sure it's actual George Carlin, because somebody started pumping out a fuckload of AI George Carlin that, like, his family was like, we love this. And I'm like, I don't care. Don't do that.
But yeah, George Carlin was the most straight-talking fucking dude I think that ever may have lived, and took no bullshit and said no bullshit.
He was a treasure. But,
he was the prophet Cassandra of our time who we did not listen to.
Exactly. He was around forever. They got a documentary, actually, about George Carlin you should go watch, too. It's pretty great.
Yeah.
But then we see Matt Damon talking to a nun. And he says he doesn't believe in God because of the poem Through the Looking Glass, and then breaks down how the poem represents all religions and creeds, and then that the message of it is essentially that following organized religion will be your downfall. And he gets this nun to question her faith.
She's like, I guess this is all a waste of time then. Thank you. And just walks over, and then fucking Ben Affleck's there. They're wearing like the same clothes basically too.
It's
just
the pea coat and just New Jersey attire. I'm pretty sure they wore the same shit in the town.
And he looks over and is like, why do you do that? It's like you who have like sat in the presence of God, like, why do you do this? Like, I don't like to keep the clergy on their toes, you know.
He's also sitting there eating popcorn the whole time he's watching him do it. And gives him shit for knowing for a fact there's a God. And then he's like, why do we come here? He's like, I just like to watch the people. You don't get a better view of people than at the airport. And you see this girl run up and kiss her boyfriend. He's like, that girl cheated on that guy twice, but it doesn't matter right now because they're so happy to be with each other. And then they start walking off, and he's like, we're going home, and shows him an article of George Carlin, who is Cardinal Glick. They're doing a rededication of a Catholic archway, and it has plenary indulgence, which means all who walk through its arches have a morally clean slate on opening day. And he says, we walk through, and all we got to do is die. And I love Matt Damon goes, die? I don't want to die.
Yep. He's like, you'll be fine. Let's die for a second, then we go straight to heaven. It's just like, well, who sent us this? It's like, how does it fucking matter? We're going home.
Right. And he's like, it's a dogmatic. He says, just because people say it doesn't mean it's true. And then, so I should mention, their names are, Matt Damon is Loki, and Ben Affleck is Bartleby, who I refer to as Bart in my notes a lot. So
yes, same.
That's why.
after the fourth time of
misspelling
notes,
Bartleby.
It's a Bart.
But he says his dogmatic law, one of the last promises that Jesus made to the first Pope, Peter, was whatever you hold to be true on earth, we will hold true in heaven. So it's true. And Loki says we got to do one thing first. It'll help me get back on his good side. And shows him an article about Mubi, who, if you're familiar with the Kevin Smith universe, is in all of them. It's just McDonald's with a golden calf as their logo. And he says, I want to hit him. He says, what better way to repent than by resuming the position I had? And he says, there hasn't been an angel of death since you quit. Don't you think that means something? And then they get into an elevator with people, and they do this a lot where they continue their conversations in front of random civilians. And he's like, last 4 days on Earth, if I had a dick, I'd go get laid. He's like, well, let's go do the next best thing and kill people. And then the lady's like, she's like, not you.
Yeah, and then we get to meet our main character, which is Bethany, and we get like a weird audio thing that there's like a pro-life versus pro-choice baseball game going on.
I missed that. What are you talking about?
Oh yeah, there's just like as we cut to the next scene, like Bethany's like talking. There's just like some announcement like over the PA. It's like, and next week the pro-life versus the pro-choice baseball team. It's
That's amazing. I wish it was real.
Yeah. We're going to settle this on the softball field once and for all.
You also see a news thing about In Massachusetts, there's an unidentified homeless man put in a coma in New Jersey with no ID and no family. Oh, it's in church. She's in church. It's not the news.
That's it. Yeah, she's in church. Yeah.
And the priest, whatever the fuck, says the archbishop is asking for the Catholic Church's support to keep them from pulling the plug on this man. And then she shows up at work, and it's really confused me because they have this actress in here for one scene that looks pretty
exactly
similar.
like her. Yeah, it's like you're following her to work, but it's just a woman that looks 98% like our main character.
Yeah, why? I know that's just people from all the Kevin Smith movies, but still, put them in the same scene. That was confusing.
Maybe Kevin Smith has a type, and that's it. Maybe. And
absolutely. Yes, he definitely does. Is one of those his wife? Actually,
maybe.
I think the one we're following might be his wife. I don't know. But yeah, she comes in. They work at an abortion clinic. There's people outside protesting, and we just jump into a conversation about Beth is losing her faith, and the lady she's talking to uses I heard this thing. Your cup is smaller when you're younger, and then it gets bigger, and it takes more to fill your cup.
Yeah.
And she's like, "You're saying I need to get filled up?" She's like, "You do need to get laid, also."
Yeah.
And then we meet. One of my most favorite underrated actors of all time, Jason Lee, is in this movie. I love him. Before My Name is Earl, I loved him. He used to be a pro skater. A lot of people don't know that, but I was obsessed with his skateboarding too.
Yep, fucking main character in Mallrats.
Yeah, he was great, man. My Name is Earl ruined his perception a little bit. People just see him as that, but he's hilarious. And in this movie, they do a nice thing where every time somebody comes on the screen, it says their names at the bottom and what they are.
Yes.
And he is Azrael, who I named my first D&D character after. But he's knocking on somebody's door, and he's got like a white suit on and a white fedora cap. And he says, "I'm from the EPA, checking for Freon links. Do you have air conditioning?" And he's like, "In every room?" And he goes, "You know what that means?" And then the hockey kids come up behind her and kill her.
Yeah.
Takes off his hat. You see two tiny little horns, and I love this line.
He goes to the AC and just cranks it. He's like, "I see the most evil thing on the planet."
He says, "No pleasure, no rapture, no exquisite sin greater than central air." And I was like, I said that today because it was hot as a motherfucker. The hockey kids are kneeling in front of him, and he says, "We need to go kill the last scion before they find her." And cut to the last scion herself, Beth, is praying before she goes to bed. And then this is such a God damn it. There's so many good things in this movie.
Yeah.
She's she hears a noise of somebody falling or something, and then fire bursts into the room, and you hear over and over, "Behold the Metatron, herald of the Almighty, and voice of the one true God."
Yeah, and she just runs out of the room and comes up again with a fucking fire extinguisher. Just, "Oh, God damn it, stop." Just puts out the fucking burning bush.
And then we meet another late great. Alan Rickman is in this fucking movie.
Yeah, who trim Alan Rickman. He's in good shape in this movie.
I love him in this movie so much. There's this weird part I sent Jess. I'm like, I don't know why, but I'm obsessed with this gesture he does here. She's like, because Alan Rickman is the fucking man. Like, he really is. Yeah.
She picks up a baseball. I was like, "Who the fuck are you?" She's like, "What are you gonna do? Hit me with a fish?" And then cuts back and it's like a fucking fish.
This is a beginning of many people accepting things way too quickly, but she's like, "Don't grape me, don't kill me." And he's like, "Oh, don't flatter yourself. I couldn't even if I wanted to." And pulls down his pants, and they show Ken doll, very
no, he's like, literally, it's
like,
he literally says, "I have the anatomy of a Ken doll. I can't do it if I wanted to."
And she says, "What are you?" And he's all pissed off. And he's like, "No wonder you're single." And then he's like, "Stand back," and spreads his wings and says, "I am the Metatron," in a huge booming voice. He's like, "Doesn't ring a bell?" He's like, "If there isn't a movie about it, it isn't worth knowing to you people." He explains what it is. It says every documentation of sometimes somebody saying they spoke to God, they were talking to me.
Yeah, it says he's seraphim, which is the highest choir of angels, basically.
And if you Google seraphim, you get some super disturbing imagery of what the Bible describes seraphim.
Yeah, well, that's where we get the fucking biblically accurate angel, "Be not afraid, wheel of eyes and fire and shit." Yeah.
Yes. And she says, "Why doesn't God speak for himself?" And he says, "Human brains can't handle it. Their minds would cave in and their heart would explode."
Yep.
And he says, want more proof? Fine. How about tequila? And snaps. And then they're inside a Mexican restaurant. For a second, you think they're in Mexico because she's like, where are we? And he's like, the only place you can go to get good tequila. Well, at least closest to your house.
Yeah. It's still a miracle, though. It's impressive.
He says, I'm here to charge you with a holy crusade. And she's like, I work in an abortion clinic. And he's like, Noah was a drunk. Look at all that he accomplished. He says, nobody's asking you to build an ark. You just have to go to New Jersey, visit a small church on a very important day. And then while he's talking, he keeps taking shots at tequila and spitting it back out.
Yep. And she's like, why are you doing it? It's like, well, some of the angels kind of went a little crazy and got drunk at Sodom and Gomorrah and did some horrible things, and God punished us, and we can't drink anymore as a collective.
Yeah, he describes Loki and Bartleby, and Loki, being the angel of death, got drunk, and Bartleby convinced him to quit after Sodom and Gomorrah. And I also love the part where he's like, it was just after the 10th plague, and she's like, or after God took it, Loki was wiping out all the firstborn of Egypt, and she goes, oh, the 10th plague. He's like, mention something out of a Charlton Heston movie, and everyone's a theology expert. Yeah, he told God he quit, punished all the angels, and then sent them. He's like, what, she send them to hell? And he's like, worse, Wisconsin.
Yeah. And she's like, well, like, what's the big deal? If they get back into heaven, so what? He's like, oh, no. If they do that, then God's wrong, and the whole linchpin of the universe is God is infallible, so if God becomes wrong, everything just ends.
Yes. Yes. And she's like, why doesn't God just do it? He's like, he'd rather see you do it personally because of who you are. And they keep hinting at this without actually telling her for a long time until she snaps out. And he's like, just serve your purpose. And she basically says, like, well, where was God when my uterus dried up and my husband left me because of it? And he's like, oh, my God, get over yourself.
Yep. And that's what he says, you're going to have some help on this. You're going to meet two prophets. It's like, well, kind of. It's like one doesn't shut up and the other doesn't talk much.
He's like, the one who speaks, and he will at great length, whether you want him to or not, will call himself a prophet. And then as he leaves, she's like, what's he like? And he's like, lonely, but funny, great sense of humor. Take sex, for example, the faces you people make.
Mm-hmm. It's like,
sex is a joke in heaven? He's like, as far as I know, it is here too.
Yep. And then he has like some maracas, like, and fucking she just wakes up in bed. It's like, oh, it's a dream. Maracas.
That was so corny, but I loved it.
And I have a little trivia about that. Apparently, the day they were shooting that, he just never put the maracas down and was just bothering the fuck out of everyone on set the entire day with the maracas.
I've heard a lot of great backstage like trivia facts about this movie, like that he loved Jason Mewes, and just couldn't get enough of him. And Kevin Smith was so worried that Jay was going to piss him off. And he says he is the greatest definition of what it means to be an American. But she leaves, and then you hear flies and roller skates, and the kids on the hockey kids start zipping by her at her car. And then one body checks her and just knocks her the fuck out. Like, she falls down, tries to get her keys, and they smack it under the car.
Yep. And like superheroes flying in from over the fucking roof of the car. Fucking our heroes arrive.
Yeah, they just fall from the fucking sky, and you just snooch to the motherfucking nooch. And I'm like, yes!
Snoogans!
It's like as iconic as Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man.
Yep.
They literally drop down from the sky and just beat the shit out of these demon children.
Yep. Like, but no problem. Just like kick the crap out of, like, I mean, they kick the shit out of angels later too. It's like they're fucking badass. Yes. We can go figure one of them is the fucking director or writer, but you know.
Yes. He even goes, I know they were just kids, but we kicked their fucking asses.
He comes back, it's like, so, gonna reward us for our good deeds? Like, what do you mean? It's like, can bang us?
Yeah, they introduce themselves, and she's like, what are you, protesters? He's like, fuck no, we're pro-choice. We're here to find chicks to hook up with. But she's like, all right, I gotta go. Thanks for the rescue. They start getting all pissed off. They're like, we just saved your ass and you're taking off. He's like, fuck this town, man. We're going back to Jersey. At least there I can make myself a profit. And then he goes, ding! And she turns around. Oh, yeah, then we see Beth and Jay and Silent Bob eating at a diner. There's like some silence, and he keeps like winking at her and shit. And he's like, so what are you going to do? Do us both?
You got a friend?
She asks why they're in there from Jersey. I love their reason. He's like some fuck named John Hughes. He's like, he made all these movies, 16 Candles and everything in a place called Sherman, Illinois. Turns out, he's like, we're watching it and they're like, nobody's dealing. We could live like fat rats over in Sherman. He's like, then we get there and there is no fucking Sherman, Illinois. He's like, so we're going back to Jersey tomorrow. Anyway, do you do anal? Is it true that chicks fart when you blast them in the ass? She tells him that she thinks she should go them. You're going to lead me somewhere important. And there's a part where she goes, do you believe in God? And they're like, they just fucking lead away from her. And they're like, all the fucking fine immoral bitches that we get to one Jesus freak, fuck this. And then he stands up and she's like, wait. He goes, I'll scream rape.
Yep.
And then she's like, I can pay, and convinces him to go with her, or convinces them to let her come with.
Yeah, and he misinterprets that as like asking him to go out with her. It's like, okay, but like you pay the rent and Bob gets to live with us.
Oh, he also, this is important for later. He says, he says, what about sex? And she says, no sex. He's like, what if we have 5 minutes to live and the world's gonna end? And she's like, fine.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, you're a fucking slut. You see them hauling ass. He's like, I get to drive, and they're hauling ass in her car. And she leans forward and is like, what gear are you in? He's like, gear? And then it shows them on the side of the road.
Car's like smoking and destroyed.
Yeah.
Then like as they're doing that, the fucking like bus goes by, and which is pretty good editing. We cut to fucking Loki and Bart. Yeah, I was like, oh damn, well, that's good storytelling.
Yeah, and then we see Loki and Bartleby on a bus. So many scenes in this movie are just Loki and Bartleby
just talking
philosophy about humanity and religion.
Yeah, it's just literally, it's like fucking budget waiting for Godot kind of a thing.
Right. He says, maybe you're wrong about the slaughter. How do you know what incurs his wrath anymore? And he's like, I remember when eating meat on a Friday was a sin. And he's like, the major ones never change. I can spot a commandment breaker from a mile away. And he's like, bullshit, basically. And he's like, all right, that guy right there is married. And he doesn't believe him for whatever reason. And he's like, I'll prove it. And he's like, excuse me, sir. Like, this guy's making out with this girl. He's like, are you married? He's like, what do you fucking think? And holds up a hand with a ring and goes back to, and I'm like, why do you keep going back to making out?
Yeah, then it's like, yeah, no, but how do you know, like, that's like not his wife? It's like, excuse me, married to her? And he's like, fuck off. Like,
he's like, not that it's any of your business, but no, and goes back to it. And he looks over at him and smiles and then just pulls out a gun and blasts his fucking brains out.
Yeah. Then the entire fucking bus just like screeches to a halt and everyone starts sprinting out and screaming.
And then Matt Damon does one of my favorite little bits in this movie. Ben Affleck looks pissed and is just staring off in the distance, and he's like smiling, and then the smile drops, and then he goes, whose house runs house? I said, whose house runs house? Most of you will not get that reference, but it was a very famous show in the 90s. Martin. Yeah, the car's broken down, and they're all staying there. And he's like, she's pissed, dude. She's never going to fuck us now. And she goes, nobody is fucking me. And then starts grabbing her stuff out of the car. I was like, I'm just going to go home. Fuck this shit. Good luck getting to the New Jersey. And he's like,
fuck you. We fell in love with you.
He's like, you fucking breaking up with us? He goes, guys don't just fall out of the fucking sky, you know? And then, naked black guy.
Yep.
He looks back up and goes, beautiful big-titted women don't fall out of the sky, you know?
Like, oh God, is he dead? It's like, yeah, from that height he should be. And they fucking going, touch him like, yeah, he's cold. And it's like, God, there was like, oh shit, it's a zombie.
This is also why I texted you to do Con Air. Because he says, you think someone wrote a message on him and threw him out of a plane like Con Air? And then Chris Rock wakes up and says, that sucked. And they're like, ah!
Cut his head off. It's like, that sounds familiar.
Yes. Chris Rock proceeds to do just like a tight five from stand-up bits for most of this movie.
Yep.
He introduces himself as Rufus, the 13th apostle that wasn't written about because he was black. And yeah, just keeps doing all these bits. Like, back in the day, we used to walk everywhere.
Yeah. Jesus told me the secret resurrection, but I got drunk and forgot it.
Yeah. He's like, we walked everywhere. You ever see a fat apostle? No. And he says, I'm not undead. I died. And he says, he's like, you knew Jesus? He's like, no, he owes me $12. And he's not an angel. And he pulls out a scroll from behind his ear that looks like a joint and shows her Aramaic to like prove that he knows Jesus. And he's like, it's Aramaic. It says, see you in 2 years, which really fucked with me because you basically told me when I was going to die.
Yeah, that's my prime years, man. I could be doing a lot during that. I'm just thinking about this the whole fucking time.
He says, let's continue this discussion over a 2-piece and a biscuit. And when he walks past Jay, he fucking goes into a karate stance. He's like, back off, Kato. She snaps a little bit and is like, I've been a good sport, but I'm not going anywhere until you fucking tell me where you came from. He's like, I came from heaven. Let's go.
Yep. Yeah, and then we see like the 3 fucking hockey punks in the background. They're about to go. And it's like, no, wait. And then this fucking hockey stick a portal in the air
just
and jump into
Looney
it.
Tunes, dude. They cut a hole in reality that looks like a hole in a green screen, which probably was. But
Yes.
And then they just jump through it, and you see Azrael scolding them. And let me get this straight. They already met the prophets and the apostles with them. And he's like, basically, we need to make sure that our parcel is not found. And since I can't even trust you to kill a woman, I'm going to have to summon the Golgothan.
And even like the demons are like, oh, the Golgotha.
Yeah. By the way, I fucking hate the Golgotha. It's always been my least favorite part of this movie, but we'll get there. They're at movies now while we get some exposition about the Bible. Beth tells him to explain things, and he says the dead like to watch the living, especially in the shower.
Yep.
And he's like,
Jay's like, I can't wait to be dead.
Yeah. And he says, you're going to help. I'm here because you're going to help me put some changes in the Bible, basically add the 13th apostle. But he says, there isn't much I don't know about you or anybody. We know everything. And he says, when you were tells Beth, when you were 5, you let a kid next door piss in your hand and you never told anybody. Neither did he. And then 2 years later, he died of leukemia. And she's like, stud. And he's like, your exploits are documented in heaven no matter how mundane. And Jay's like, tell me something about me. And he's like, you masturbate more than anyone on the planet. He was like, well, everyone knows that. He's like, when you do it, you're thinking about guys. And then walks off.
Yeah, and he looks at Bob. He's like, not all the time.
It's like 1 or 2 references too where they say Jay's gay. Basically by the end of this movie he just comes out.
I mean, it's pretty canonical that they're like kind of a gay couple. Like it's never outright said, but they always like it's
always
like my hetero life partner.
Yeah.
And it's just fucking my lady doc protests too much, methinks.
He goes and talks to Beth to calm her down, and it's like, where did those 2 assholes go? And then we see Selma Hayek is a stripper for the 2nd time in her career that I'm aware of. And they're in a tip war between Jay and Silent Bob and the Bloods, I think.
Yep, fuck it, man. Even to this day, I could still use the 3rd.
Don't mind it at all. Nope.
Yep. But she is one of the women that I think may be vampires. It's like her, Lucy Liu, Tilda Swinton.
Dude, Lucy Liu. I just watched Kill Bill the other day. I'm like, she looks exactly the same now.
Yeah, I think Keanu Reeves is a vampire. I just think like certain actors are vampires. That's
Keanu,
they just go into hiding for like 50 years and like come back as another actor, and it's just a little cycle.
Have you ever seen that portrait that came up on Reddit that looks exactly like Keanu Reeves? Yeah.
Yep.
Rufus recognizes Selma Hayek and says she's serendipity, and then we cut to movie headquarters. This is the best scene of the whole fucking movie. I will not debate anyone on this. It just is fantastic. Super long, so I'll try and paraphrase as much as I can.
Yeah.
But there's
like,
a board
Ben
meeting.
Affleck, first of all, too, is like not interested in this whole thing. He's fucking kind of like sitting out a lot of it.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Their whole dynamic. You see a movie headquarters meeting where they're like, anybody seen the reports? Profits are up. And they all cheer. And then he's like, do I smell onions? And they look over, and Loki and Bartleby in the corner. And he goes, you may proceed to Bartleby. And he's like, there's a couple times in this movie where Ben Affleck does like reactions to Matt Damon that I think might have been real, because he's like, what the fuck do you... And gets up and starts giving a huge speech about the history of movie. He's like, yeah, the Golden Calf, gives their history, 2 films, 16 records, and bi-coastal theme park, so almost Disney. And he goes, did I forget anything? And they're like, you forgot Movie Magazine. He's like, damn it! And he's like, genuinely pissed. And he's like, they're like, is there a point to this? He was like, you are idolaters. And then Loki gets up and is like, I can't believe you forgot the magazine. And he holds up an onion figure and is like, do you believe in voodoo? He's like, there's no real doctrine of faith, more of a amalgamation of superstitions, most well known of which is the voodoo doll. And then he sneezes and
Yeah,
pauses.
looks around.
Nobody says anything.
And it keeps going.
And then Bart walks up and he's like, I'm going to have to stop you there. He goes, would you knock it off? He's like, you're doing
something. Bart like gets down to fucking brass tacks with it and starts fucking calling out like each fucking CEO and all this shit.
Yeah, all their sins. Yeah, he goes, you're responsible for raising an icon which draws worship, which breaks the first commandment. He goes, you, Mr. Burton, cheated on your wife 8 times while you were supposed to be, you even had sex with your best friend while you're supposed to be watching your kids. And then Loki goes, like, in the bed you shared with your wife.
Yep. And then the next one is like, you wanted to break up with your girlfriend, so you got her drunk at the office party and then had someone else sleep with her so you could break up with her fucking guilt-free. I was like, Jesus Christ. Like,
this is only more relevant today with everything we have learned about all our CEOs. Kevin Smith was so ahead of his time.
Oh, yeah. But it's like, this one's like, disown his gay son, and just like moves on to the next one.
It's great. They brought so much beautiful acting to a movie that did not need it, and it's great. Mr. Barker used a company account to fly to Taiwan to have sex with an year-old boy.
And it's like, you made toys out of toxic materials because it was, so he says, more cost efficient.
Yes. And then he goes, but you, Mr. Whitland, have more skeletons in your closet than anyone in this assembled party. I can't even mention them out loud. And then just whispers in his ear. And then Loki goes, you're his father, you sick fuck.
Yeah. And then goes up to the last one. It's like, and you are blameless. Good job.
Yeah. He's like, he walks out, and then Matt David goes, alone at last. With the exception of Miss Price, there isn't a decent human among you. And then he goes, talk some more shit. What makes a decent human being is fear. And then he puts up the voodoo doll. He's like, I wonder if I believe hard enough in this. And then goes, and
everyone's just getting tense, and everyone like flinches. It's like, I don't believe in voodoo. And just walks out, and then walks back with his eagles, like, but I believe in this, and just starts fucking capping everyone. Like, don't run. Like the movie land thing is like, and then it's only Mrs. Peterson left at the end. She's like, gum.
Yeah. He said it also cussed outside to Bartleby sitting outside listening, and he's like, I do believe in this. What does that even mean? And he goes, yeah, you're a pure soul. You've done nothing wrong. And he goes, but you didn't say God bless you when I sneeze. And he goes, Loki? God damn it. You're lucky. Beautiful. I fucking love that scene. Don't run. We cut back to Jay and Silent Bob and the gang, and they're hanging out while Rufus, Beth, and Serendipity talk. And she says, tits don't make a woman. She's like a Ken doll down there everywhere, and like holds up her dress. And you hear Jay across the bar go, hey, they're getting a free show.
Yeah, she's like, I'm the muse of, like, what was it, inspiration or something like that?
Yeah, she's inspiration. Used to be an abstract.
Yeah, she's like, I am responsible for 19 of the 12 top-grossing movies all time, except for that one with the little boy that the people break in. I had nothing to do with that. That was a deal with Satan.
I don't know if that was a reference, like inside joke or something, but
he was referencing fucking Home Alone.
Well, I know. I just didn't know if like Lionsgate or Kevin Smith has beef with Home Alone or something. I don't know.
Is it I think it's a Lionsgate.
That's what
film,
I was wondering. Isn't it a Lionsgate movie?
I think so. Yeah.
I don't know, but you see a dude take a shit and the toilet starts bubbling when he leaves, and I cannot stress enough how much I hate this part.
Yep.
But she says she left being amused because she was tired of getting credit and wanted to write her own movie. And they're like, well, what happened? She's like, writer's block.
Yep. And she drops the God is a woman bomb.
Yes. Only one that's correct in the whole movie, by the way. Spoiler alert. But and then we come back to the bathroom again, which is just full of shit, like waist deep shit. And then a monster comes out of it. I really hate it. Jay and Silent Bob come up with red bandanas. They're like, they made us part of the gang. And the door busts open. I love that. And it comes, this monster made of shit comes out, and you hear it say, not born, shit into existence. And I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, then Jade, I was like, smoke this motherfucker. And the gang just like goes and tries to fight it, and then it's like completely off screen, just gets slaughtered.
Yeah, they have guns, and they run up to it and die. And when it cuts back, they're all like in random parts of the room dead. And he goes, looks like we're in charge of the gang now. And it starts
Then,
launching shit, and it's gross.
Yeah, it's a shit can, and it just like splatters the entire wall. Like it's fucking the aftermath of Taco Tuesday. It's
I would have
bad.
killed myself if this monster was real.
You find out a little bit of lore. He's the shit of all the crucified people on the hill that Jesus was crucified on.
I love this, how quickly they give that exposition. She's like
Like, I
making
wanna
a
use that-
Molotov behind a bar.
Yeah,
And it just, spits out all these facts about it.
yeah. I want to use that for D&D. That's like a good character. Not necessarily Jesus, but like this is the excrement of all the executed men upon the hill. But then we see like Bob's doing something, and he just like pulls something out of his fucking waistband and goes over his, and the whole thing just goes. It's like air freshener knocks out bad smells. It's a fucking like Batman fucking joke.
Blunt man, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was like, why do you have that? Like Jay rips his fart. He's just like,
Loki and Bartleby are getting tickets to New Jersey, and they are sold out. And I like Matt Damon's reactions to everything in this movie always crack me up. The way he's just like, "What?" And while he's like snapping at the lady, Ben Affleck just like leans his face over, like, "What is wrong with you?" While she's after that outburst.
It's like we're getting like fucking knocked off our cosmic appointment because you have to keep fucking killing people.
Yeah, and then Loki's like, "Why don't we just fly?" And he was like, and then Azrael pops up and goes, "I wouldn't suggest that." And then it cuts to them like he says, you wouldn't want to look like a couple of fairies, would you?
Yeah, and he like drags him to like a fucking like sporting goods section of like a fucking
Walmart,
store or something.
Like, straight up.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Look at this pimp. How'd you get out of hell?" He's like, "I told them I was coming up on a routine possession," which is great. And then he tells them like, "You guys are this close to getting caught. You keep killing people, and now you're talking about opening your wings." And he says, "Both sides are looking for you. God's pissed off at your presumption, and Lucifer doesn't want you to succeed where he failed. So tone it down, take a low profile, quit fucking killing people. Even the last Scion is looking for you."
They're like, "For the last fucking Scion? What?" Like, it's like a big deal. Like, it's like just a lady.
Yeah, real talk. By the end of this movie, I have zero fucking clue. Like, she didn't have like powers or anything.
She has like one. She does one thing. Oh, yeah, she does one thing once.
Oh, right.
Yeah. But like beyond, I wish they'd done like one or two things more, like running on water or something, or you know, like something. Yeah, like just it's.
Now they're all on a train. Rufus, Beth, everybody, and she's again asking what God's like. I love this little recurring thing where you hear everyone's different perspective of God. And Rufus says he likes to listen to people talk, especially when it's unimportant shit. When we were all just talking and bullshit, and he would be sitting there with a smile at the fire. The big one is the factioning of religion. He says they took a good idea and built structure and ruined it. And they sprinkle in all these little things that I just adore about religion.
Yeah, it's like I think his big one is like it's like the problem is it shouldn't be belief. Like fucking people will die for beliefs. It should just be an idea because you can't change a belief. You can change an idea.
Right. Beautiful. He's like, "I realize we haven't seen the two moron twins in a while," and then you see. They go find him, and he's like, "We're about to smoke a fatty with these two suave motherfuckers." And the camera pans over. He's like, "This is Larry and Barry." Loki and Bartleby. And then it cuts to this weird little bit with Matt Damon smoking with them, which was funny. Like, he does this. And then Matt Damon tries to do it back and totally fake smoking the weed.
Yeah.
Beth has like a heart-to-heart with Bartleby for the next like couple hours, it seems like.
Yeah, and like really the crux of the conversation is she thinks they're like a gay couple for like a really long time. That part was
hilarious. And this is a Easter egg bit to the other Kevin Smith movies. Because, she's like, "How'd you two meet?" And he's like, "We were stationed together." And she says, "That's beautiful. Everyone's always up in arms about out in the military bullshit." He's like, "Oh, we're not gay." And he goes, "Do I come off as gay?" Which is from Chasing Amy and like two other movies with Ben Affleck. It's great. But then they start connecting and talking about being dumped. He's obviously talking about God. Say it'll hurt less with time, but it only hurts more. All the cliche.
But
bullshit.
like they're completely empathetic with each other, which is kind of weird with what happens later. But yeah.
Yes. Cuts to them like several drinks in, and she's talking about her lost faith. And like, "What about my plan?" They said it was God's plan when I couldn't have a baby. And Bart says he lost his face when God stopped listening. Like, he's all doing it all in a really great way that it just sounds like a religious person, but he means it all fucking literally. And she says this nice little moment where she's like, when you're a kid, you never question God. You know he's always watching. And then she starts crying, and it's like, I'd give anything to feel that again. I'm like, Jesus Christ, the way they just sprinkle in primo fucking script writing and acting in this movie.
I mean, there was a false sense of security, but I remember that feeling when I was a kid. It's just
Same.
like a superhero is going to fucking protect you and keep everything good. And then it's like, oh, no, that doesn't happen. Shit. Okay, cool.
Yeah, man, it's real shit thrown. It's great the way they do this. Then Rufus wakes up, and we come back again. Bartleby's asking where your pilgrimage is to. And she says, we're headed to New Jersey, but you wouldn't believe me why. He's like, try me. She's like, we're supposed to stop 2 fucking angels that are going to unmake existence. And he's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, just having a complete fucking like mental breakdown across the table from her while she's just like lining out the entire fucking plan.
Like laughing her ass off. And he's taking a bottle under the table. And Rufus comes in, they see each other, and then he's like, holy shit, and cracks the bottle. And then they wake up Jay, and he goes, I didn't come on you, Pete, I swear. But he calls for Loki, and then Bart like grabs Beth and is holding the shattered bottle to her neck and is like, we're going home no matter what. And they're like, you're gonna fucking kill everybody. And then he knocks out Jay, and Silent Bob's like one eye twitches, and he just tackles him and lays Matt Damon the fuck out and sits on top of him and throws him off the train. And then
and Matt seems like, so wait, we can talk about this. We can talk about this. And just like he's like really coming around to like, it's like, no, we smoked. You're cool, guys. You're cool.
I also love, if you're unfamiliar with the franchise, there's always at least 1 or 2 times where Silent Bob talks, and it's hilarious.
Yeah.
They throw them off the train, and he like dusts his hands off and turns around, and a guy's sitting there like wide-eyed, and he's like, no ticket.
Yep, fucking Indiana Jones reference.
And this is another amazing acting scene. Like Loki and Bartleby are in a parking garage, freaking the fuck out. And they're like, that means that was the Scion. And Loki's like, maybe there's more to this than I thought. Like, they said something about unmaking existence. Like, maybe we shouldn't fucking do this. And he starts snapping the fuck out as like, I was so close to slitting her throat. I felt righteous, eager even. And he's like, are you all right? Your eyes are kind of... And he's like, my eyes are open. In the beginning, it was just us and him. Gave them more than he ever gave us. He gave them a choice. He says, I felt the absence of the divine presence, and it's pained me, as I'm sure it's pained you. If we were like them, we could just ignore it.
Yeah, and basically he's just going on the full, like, fucking Paradise Lost fucking rant, like, where fucking, like, Lucifer fucking fell, and even at the end, like, Matt Damon's like, you fucking sound like the Morning Star. You sound like fucking Lucifer.
Yeah, he snaps that at it, too. He's like, don't you dare fucking say that.
Yeah.
And but yeah, it was just like a solid 5 minutes of basically Ben Affleck doing Shakespeare level acting. It was fucking incredible. And he's like, we may have to dispatch our would-be dispatchers. And Loki's like, no, man, Jay and Silent Bob were super cool. And he's like, he's just a human. If we pass through that arch, no harm, no foul. And that's what he says. I've heard a rant like this before. And he tries to walk away, and then Bartleby stops him, and he's like, we're going home. Nobody's going to stop us, not even you. They're all camping now, the gang is. She makes Rufus explain to her who she is, and they cover another huge hole in religion here that I love. He's like, in the Bible, Jesus goes from age 12 to 30. Don't you think that's a huge fucking gap and some pretty bad storytelling?
Yep.
And he basically says, why did they leave it out? He's like, because he had a family, like brothers and sisters, and says, the blood that flows through your veins shares a chromosome with Jesus. You're the great, 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 great grandniece of Jesus. And Jay, in a moment that seems dumb but is true, goes, so that would make Bethany part black? And he's not wrong.
Yeah, and Bethany's just like, Mount, I'm done. Leave it. Fuck you. And just like gets up and fucking runs off into the forest.
We get a sweet wet t-shirt moment here.
Yes. Unnecessary, but appreciated.
Yeah, just randomly. Thank God for I bet it wasn't as noticeable on our old CRTVs, but on my super high def computer screen, you see every fucking thing.
Yeah, and she just basically, just did a wet t-shirt contest screaming at God, why, which I'm sure is not the first time that's happened.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Then we get the voice of Alan Rickman going across the water, just fucking aura farming, standing there on a fucking lake like a badass.
Yes. And she's like, "Why didn't you tell me?" And this trope comes up so much in movies. She's like, "You wouldn't have believed me until you went through all this bullshit first." And I'm like, I might have believed you after you said you were an angel, you asshole.
Yeah, with the wings and the teleportation and the fire. Like,
Right?
either you're a magician who's gave me some very good drugs, or you're actually an angel. Like, it's one of the two. We can figure this out.
Could have absolutely told me sooner.
Yeah. I think the shit demon, after the shit demon, I probably would have believed anything.
Right. And then he teleports
Yeah.
them all to a fancy restaurant, which
And Jay's sitting there with a joint. Is like, I think it just kicked in.
yeah, they get zero warning before they just appear somewhere else, and they just kind of roll with it pretty quickly. And they like, he's like, "Who the fuck is this?" And Rufus like, "It's a voice of God. Show some respect."
Yeah. And it's like, so, like, what's going on? Like, well, it's like, why is this happening? It's like, didn't you think this is all kind of like under God's purview, like that they could like take care of? It's like, yeah. It's like, well, we lost God. We don't know where God is.
Which is also the concept for Preacher, which is a fantastic fucking show if you've never seen it. But,
Yep.
yeah, they lost God, and he's like, "You know those constitutionals he likes to take?" And they're like, "Stop using all the fucking metaphors." They're like, "God's a skee-ball fanatic." And he assumes a human form once a month and gives all of his points to neighborhood children, but we've been unable to locate her. Foul play is afoot. They're like, whoever did this knows that if God died, he would just reappear in heaven. So they knew enough to like keep him somewhere. And then Jay's reading a newspaper, is like, "Why don't we just ask this guy to close the church?" And then hands them a newspaper, and they're like, "Holy shit, the stoner has a point." He's like, "The prophets finally live up to their titles."
And she's like, okay, what are we going to do? She's like, you're back in? She's like, yeah, I was out for like 2 minutes. I just had a little freak out. Let's go.
And then we cut to them talking to Cardinal Glick, aka George Carlin, and he's using a putter while he talks to them. And I just know George Carlin had a hand in writing all this. The way he makes these snide little digs at Catholicism in this role is great. And he's like, "Fill them pews, people. That's the key. Hook them while they're young." And they're like the tobacco industry. He's like, "Christ, if we only had their numbers." And they tell him they want him to cancel the event. He's like, "What are you guys, pro-choice?" And he's like, "Not us. We're renegade angels."
Yeah. And it's like, look, it's like this is gonna happen. Like, God doesn't make, the church doesn't make mistakes. And it's like, what about like
Yes.
silently endorsing the Holocaust and the slave trade? It's like, okay, some mistakes were made.
I love that part. The way you just sit there. Mistakes were made. And I also like randomly Rufus tries to cut through the shit. It's like, "We were sent by he who was called I am." And he's like, "Nice try."
Yeah. It's like, it worked on Noah.
Yeah. And he says, "Tomorrow will go off without a hitch. No influence short of the hand of God will keep this from going off." Like, they barely even tried. That's it. They're done.
Yeah.
And then we
Pick that
see
there.
Loki and Bartleby have walked to New Jersey. We get this single shot of them walking along the
Yeah.
turnpike into New Jersey. And I'm like, can you imagine being in the car that day? It was like, what? Was that fucking Goodwill Hunting?
Yeah. Yeah, and they're all kicked out and sad. It's like, don't worry, like fucking Bob like got one up with the Cardinal, and like we stole his fucking driver.
Yeah. He says that's what he gets for messing with our girlfriend. Cross-dressing fuck. And then, Rufus is like, "We're just going to have to kill him then." And she's like, "Thought they couldn't be killed." And then Azrael appears and you hear, "Correction, they won't be killed." And he says, "To ensure that, we're all going to sit right here until they pass through that church." And then Muse appears as well. The bartender like suddenly gains consciousness. It is like, "Where the hell did you come from?" And they all just turn in the middle of their conversation. And he's like, "I came from nothingness and I'm returning in about an hour." And he's like, "Okay, Plato, it's time for you to go."
Yeah, it's like, okay, but one more drink for the road. Can I get a holy bartender? It's like, I don't know. It's like, well, he doesn't want to make a holy bartender. And she's like, don't. And he's like fucking puts his hand
He
through
pulls
his
out a fucking
shirt.
Uzi and just lights him the fuck up. I love that they all see it coming and do absolutely nothing.
Yep.
And then the hockey boys hold them all back, and they're like, "If calculations are correct, pawns are moving into checkmate as we speak." And then out of nowhere, Jay goes, "Holy bartender, I get it. That was good." Cardinal is giving a speech, Cardinal Glick, and then Bartleby interrupts when he says, "This is God's house." He says, "God's house? He has abandoned you. His favorites, to the whim of judgment, prepare to taste God's wrath." Cop comes up and is like, "All right, mouthpiece, you're out of here." And Ben Affleck with like two smooth motion just snaps his fucking neck.
Yep.
And everybody freaks out, and he starts taking off of his clothes and showing his armor. And he says,
Which has
"Wings."
nipples.
Yes, as it should. And yeah, he rips open his shirt, shows his arm, and he says, "Wings, now." And Loki's like, "I'm feeling a little exposed here." And he just turns and goes, "Do it!" And it's fucking epic. Yeah, come back to the bar, talking more shit. I like when he says,
like,
"I'm an artist."
Artist, yeah. It's like, Elvis was an artist.
Yeah. He says, "I didn't stop him from joining the service in a time of war. That's why he is the king, and you're a schmuck." Says he waited for the opportunity to present itself, sent them the article, set them on their way, and but the Almighty could still pooch the deal, so I dispatched him in ingenious fashion. She's like, "How? That's the only part I haven't been able to figure out." He's like, "I've seen way too many Bond movies to know not to reveal the entire plan."
Like, smart man.
And it sounds just like his character in Mallrats.
Yep.
Says he's rather not exist at all than go back to hell.
Exactly, yeah. Because they try to call him, "You're going to die too." It's like, I don't care.
Yeah, that's the problem they keep running into every time they tell somebody you're going to unmake existence. They're like, "I couldn't fucking care less."
Mm-hmm.
And I love this part. They turn on the TV and you see Dante from Clerks as a news reporter.
Yeah.
He says, "Men with
even-
huge fucking wings are laying waste at St. Michael's." Bullets don't seem to affect them. The crowd has dropped to their knees, identifying this as the fabled apocalypse.
Yep.
And
But he's just like, "Oh God, no!" And just gets like fucking like yoinked up into the air.
And you see Muse starts like gesturing at Bob, like making eyes, like pointing at the driver, the golf driver, like pick it up. And he's like not picking up on it at all at first. And then Azrael catches them and it's like, "Oh, were we passing secrets around?" And then he sees the driver. He's like, "Go ahead, pick it up. Take a shot. Take your best fucking shot." I like he like licks his finger and sizzles his shirt off. He's like, "Don't you know anything?" And Bob just like looks back and shrugs and fucking hits him with it. His whole fucking chest case in.
Yeah, just like black goo. And he's like, "But I'm a fucking demon." Just fucking falls down dead.
And she starts yelling at Beth to bless the water in the sink, and she just runs over there. I don't even know what she does or
She
says.
does like a cross over it like that.
Okay.
She just like crosses it basically.
And then they shove the hockey boys' heads in, and they all burn to death. And I love this moment when she explains everything. She's like, "He said it himself," and perfectly does his voice and says, "I'm a fucking demon." It's like you hit any instrument of demon with a god or an instrument of God, and the pure side always does damage. And says that because the driver belonged to a priest, it was an instrument of God, and because Beth is the last scion, she could bless the water. And I'm like, that was some Buffy level shit. That was
Yeah, that was some fucking ass pull. But she's like, "Okay, I'm doing the water to wine at my next party. Fuck yeah."
Yeah.
She says, "Jesus powers now." Oh God, you ever seen that cartoon where like Jesus touches a guy and turns all the water in his body into wine?
Yes. Yeah, they show up to the scene of the church. There is dead people every fucking where, and you're hearing splat, splat, like periodically. And Muse says, if they come out of that church, nobody touch them, or they're going to go to heaven because they walked through, and they're going to want to die to get up to heaven. And body falls from the sky.
This is why I don't go to church anymore.
Body falls from the sky, and Jay looks at Rufus and is like, "Friend of yours?" And you hear, "No, that was the Cardinal from Loki." And he walks out from behind a van with a bottle of champagne, and he's fucking wasted.
It's like, you can tell because of the tassels. This is a dead giveaway.
He's like, he's been at it for a while now. He ran out of parishioners and just started picking up random people and dropping them.
Yeah, and they notice too now, like he's like fucking bleeding and shit, and his wings are all gone
Yeah.
too. And they're like, "Oh God, he's human. Don't touch him." Yeah.
He goes, "I just wanted to go home, but he just lost it." He goes, "What's with the tits? Can I touch it?" And he's like, "Have you gone through the arch yet?" And she's like, "Come on, tell me, did you go through the arch yet?" And you just hear, "No." And Bartleby descends, and like a great villain shot as he descends in front of the church with his massive angle wings and armor.
CGI is a little rough on the far shots, but when they get close to the practical, and
you
it's
can
better.
definitely tell he's on strings too when he's
Yeah.
But for 99 in a Kevin Smith movie, it was fantastic. But he says, "We were waiting for you guys to get here first." And And he's like, a lesson must be taught, all are accountable, even God. And it says, cops will be here soon, in time to kill us as soon as we exit the church, and this will all cease to be.
Yep. Yeah, and then Loki comes over. It's like, look, man, this is like going too far. We gotta stop this shit. And he just like brings him into a hug and just like, I loved you, but you're weak, and just fucking stabs him in the side. And really doesn't seem like she killed him that easy stab, but
Yeah, I
when
don't
was,
know
like,
if
that
it's just like
long.
his first time experiencing pain, so he just collapses
Yeah.
from it, or well, he felt the wings. Yeah, I don't know. But I also love he cocks his fist back. He's like, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, kills him, and he's got evil eyes, and his wings unfurl, and everybody jumps at him. Jay grabs Beth and just runs off with her, and they're hiding
Just
behind
behind
the
like
car.
a soundboard, yeah.
He's still taking his pants off the whole time she's talking. He's like, we have about 5 minutes left to live when the whole world's going to end, and you said you'd fuck me. He says, we can either lay here all comatose like that John Doe or get to making with the love. And then she like has an epiphany as soon as he says the thing about the John Doe.
Yep. She's like, okay, I need you to like distract him. And someone's like, well, what about my dick suck? She like kisses him. He's like, all right, that's what I'm talking about. Just gets up and he's like, count the shells, motherfucker. And just starts oozing, doing the worst fucking thing ever. And yeah, fucking Bart just like fucking ducks down and puts his wings up and just like makes it easy, gets his fucking wings chopped off for him.
Yeah, they slow-mo run to try and stop him, and see him lick the blood and then like start cry laughing and fully turn into the fucking Joker as he evil laughs into the sky. Beth is with the John Doe and says, hope you're the skee ball type, and then pulls the plug. And lightning starts like shooting at him, and I guess lightning now pierces bodies, because I was super confused for a long time about what happens here.
It's like in the abdomen, basically.
Yeah,
she
she's
goes
just
down.
bleeding profusely. And I like the little the CGI of the door bending before it explodes. And then the light like appears in the church right as Bartleby gets to the door.
Yep.
And then Alanis Morissette and the Metatron walk out of the fucking light.
Yeah. Which, when I was younger, I did not get that reference at all, but I get it now.
Right. Yeah, I would not have recognized it, and we didn't have Google either for me to be like, who the fuck is that? But I love his first line to Bartleby is, was Wisconsin really that bad?
And he just looks up to her and is like, I'm sorry. And she kind of like gives him this like look like, I know. And then like Metatron comes out. It's like, to anyone like who's not spectral or from a different plane of existence, cover your ears.
And they all, Muse and Rufus like tackle Jay's head and holds him down. And Bartleby says, thank you. And then she opens her mouth and makes like a
Yeah, and it's like the world vibrates and he fucking like just gets scanned.
Yes.
His head explodes.
And then she just smiles and walks up to Jay, and I love this part. He's like, get off me. I want to see what's up. What the fuck is this shit? Who the fuck are you, lady? Why the fuck did you two hug my head? What the fuck is this, the piano? Why isn't this broad talking? And she just kisses his cheek. He's like, I believe the answers you seek lie within my companion's eyes. He goes, what the fuck does that mean?
And just immediately he's like, passes out.
And then
she just looks around and instead of healing the dead, just cleans them up.
Yeah, just erases everything that happened. They're like, where was she? And they're like, she was trapped in a body, and Beth figured it out. And they're like, oh. Realize that Beth's not back, and Silent Bob's comes running up with her, and he's weeping, and she's dead in his arms. And I like this part. They like lay her down, and Alan Rickman goes, "Oh, watch this." So they're like, "What is she gonna do?" And he goes, "Wax on, wax off."
Yeah, and it literally does the Miyagi fucking like.
Yes. Yeah, puts her hands on her, she coughs and wakes up, and Alan Rick was like, she can rebuild you. She has the technology.
Yeah, fucking $10 million man reference.
Yeah. And then she goes off and smells some flowers and does a handstand, and Alan Rickman says, you might want to take care of yourself. We're going to need you. And she's like, I'm the last scion. And he goes, well, you're half right. You were the last scion, and touches her belly and goes, now this is the last scion.
So we just impregnated you with that permission. Hope you're cool with that.
Yep, just went ahead and made another Messiah. No big deal.
Yeah, thank God she's cool with it immediately. She's like, I'm pregnant.
It says, take care of that parcel first. She has a whole world ahead of her. And then she catches God and thanks her for everything. And I like, she goes, it kind of reminds me of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. She's like, wait, I have one question. why are we here? And then she just goes, boop, and then just disappears. Goes, didn't I tell you she was funny? Tells them they're going to go home, put in a good word for him, and tells Jay and Silent Bob if they clean up their language, he'll put in a good word for them too. And door closes and they disappear. And then Jay's just like, we should go to Quick Stop. And Bob's like, yep. And she's like, tells him she's pregnant. They're like, we can fuck until the 3rd trimester. And then that's the end.
Yep.
I love that it ends with him just going back to the Quick Stop. It's fucking beautiful. Yep. All right. Now, after having done the plot way, way longer than I planned on going into these movies, but we're going to take them through 10 rounds, and we're going to tell you which one's better. Starting with round 1, it worked. The biblical setup. Which film has the better supernatural premise? So basically the setup, you have celebrities getting trapped in the apocalypse in the beginning of This Is the End, and Dogma starts with fallen angels trying to exploit a loophole. Which concept hooks you more in the beginning?
Yeah. I mean, as much as I love Dogma, I will say just for this particular round, I gave it to This Is the End at a 7-6. Just because though, like Dogma, like I was watching with a friend and we had to rewind the first angel scene a couple of times so like they could get all the fucking exposition and dialogue like correctly, because like there's little parts like, wait, what are they? She's like, oh wait, they said they're angels once, like in like kind of an offhanded line, so it's like a little bit of like a theory in there, which is there's no confusing what's going on, and This Is the End. It's just like fucking rapture, fire, demons, hell immediately.
Yeah, for the opening, I wouldn't say either one. Like, they don't really drop a super lot of lore right at the very beginning, but the opening is, you know, for me personally, just Seth Rogen and Jay Baruchel hanging out is, I'm already in, because I know it's going to be hilarious whatever happens with him. And the beginning of Dogma is an old man getting beat to death. I do love the scene with Matt Damon, but Matt Damon and Bartleby at the airport.
Yeah.
It was super close to me, but I did eke this one out to This Is the End, just because it's funnier in the beginning, I think. But overall, yeah, we agree on This Is the End for this one, which takes us into our next round, which is the comedy overall. Which movie is funnier overall? Which style delivers bigger laughs?
Yeah. Actually, I guess I'm gonna tie both at 8, because I kind of had a hard time because it's different humor for both of them. Like there's like the Judd Apatow like joke a minute thing, but like there's some really clever fucking jokes and like satire in Dogma, and like, I don't know, it's a quantity versus quality thing, but I think they kind of like even out to each other. Where I think like Dogma's got the better quality jokes, but I think This Is the End has more good ones. Like, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I scored this one super close. This was the second round I gave to This Is the End, though. I do love it. Dogma has a style of humor that I internally appreciate more. I'm like, they got there. It was clever. But This Is the End, specifically, I have to imagine the first time I watched it, I was dying laughing constantly. Just because it's a fucking Apatow movie, I'm always going to laugh. So I eked it out by 1 point. They're both very funny, but This Is the End was way more focused on the comedy aspect than Dogma is.
Yeah, Dogma's got a lot of sincerity in it too.
Yes,
in places
it has way more
hurts the comedy, but
for
doesn't
their jokes too. But
yes,
yeah, they just got me a little more often with This Is the End, especially on a first watch. What the fuck? Okay. So Nick gave it a tie. I gave that one to This Is the End. That takes us into round 3. I'm on the wrong screen. Ensemble cast. Which movie gets more out of its ridiculous cast? Which group creates better chemistry?
Yeah, I'm giving this one pretty cleanly to This Is the End. I'm giving this like a 9 to a 7 because, like, it's Dogma's good, but like we said, like there's like a lot of it is like I have a good 5-minute stand-up bit that I'm gonna do in the middle of the scene that doesn't really connect back to a lot of story per se, but I have a funny thought I'm gonna get out. Whereas the comedy in This Is the End just kind of like flows continuously from like the first scene to the fucking very last one. The Backstreet Boys to kind of show up.
I actually gave this one to Dogma because Alan Rickman and George Carlin. I just
had to. They're individually better, yes, but I'm saying as the ensemble, like playing off of each other, I feel that there's just more chemistry in the Judd Apatow one than a lot of these characters had.
I made this one super close as well. Yeah, I feel like the people they got in the Apatow verse was just easier to pull together, and I don't know, man. I love Jay and Silent Bob combined with Alan Rickman. I fucking
Yeah.
adore that connection there. Beth, I could take it or leave it. I guess it clashes pretty good with Jay and Silent Bob, and then the Matt Damon duo. I don't know. It just did more for me than the millionth time of seeing Seth Rogen and co on screen together. I don't know. Eked it out to Dogma. But that's the second one Nick's given to This Is the End. That is the first round I have given to Dogma. That takes us into round 4. The Heaven and Hell Mythology. Which film uses religious ideas better and is more interesting?
Oh, I mean, I'm gonna put this hands down for me to Dogma
Thank
because,
God.
like, it
Yeah, it
actually,
blows it out
yeah,
of the
no.
fucking
Yeah,
water.
It's like no, I put this like 9 to 5 because it's just like it actually like kind of like digs down into some Christian lore and has some interesting thoughts and like what if this was different, how would that change it? Whereas like you could have made This Is the End aliens or zombies or fucking monsters or whatever, and it would still be the same thing. It's just it was religious themed.
Yeah, they so briefly scratch the surface of anything
Yeah,
religious
they read like the
related.
first chapter of Revelations and that's it.
That's
Like that's just
literally
like
it.
yeah.
There's like a couple times where like, oh well, the Bible says this. That's about it. They could have
Yep.
tried so much harder and been like figured out a trick to defeat the demons because this part of the Bible that we should have paid attention to or something. But they did try it all. They're just like throw them all in the movie. We'll coat it with a little bit of Jesus and blue beams.
Yeah.
Blue beams.
I gotta have the sky beams in mid 2000s movies.
We had Kevin Smith fucking destroyed with the religious lore, the
Oh, dude.
philosophic angles of it. Like
He did so well that got banned basically.
yeah. I learned a lot about the Bible from Dogma, and I didn't learn shit about
Yeah.
it from This Is the End. In fact,
I
they
learned
got a
about what
bit
the word
wrong.
dogma was from Dogma.
Exactly. They define it right at the beginning.
Yeah.
Learned what plenary indulgence is. I learned, they explained dogmatic law. Nailed it. Fucking destroyed This Is the End. That takes us into round 5. Standout character. Who steals the movie? And This Is the End. You got Danny McBride, Jonah Hill, Craig Robinson. And Dogma, you have Loki, Bartleby, Metatron, or Jay and Silent Bob. Who leaves the bigger impression?
I think I'm giving this one to Dogma. I think they've just got better characters. This Is the End suffers from the fact that they're not characters; they're just playing like fucking flanderized versions of themselves.
Yeah,
like it's kind of hard to be standout when you're just playing you. Whereas we have Alan Rickman as Metatron, which is great, and fucking the Bartleby Loki fucking like old married couple fucking dynamic is wonderful.
yes.
Jay and Silent Bob need no introduction.
Yeah, so like if anybody was the standout character stealing the movie in This Is the End, I would absolutely say it is Danny McBride or Emma Watson or baby Michael Cera even. But standout characters, our main character in Dogma is Beth. And you can say Jay and Silent Bob are the main characters if you want, but if we're saying Alan Rickman versus Danny McBride, I'm going Alan Rickman.
Yeah.
Or if we're saying Loki and Bartleby, definitely going with them either. Like, they're fucking fantastic with their side plots in this movie. And the Danny McBride is just being Danny McBride, and I do love the payoff at the end. But
exactly, it's just everyone's just being themselves turned to a 10. Like it's fun and it's nice, but it's not high art or anything.
I do love that they made Danny McBride what we think Danny McBride is from the movies, and it would have been kind of funny if he was just totally the opposite of that in the movie.
Yeah, just like milk toast and fucking like he had the Jonah Hill character maybe
exactly.
A little more.
Like, guys, that's a little crazy. I don't know about some stuff like that. But yeah,
I need soy milk. I need soy.
All right, that one takes us into round 6. Heart Beneath the Humor. Which movie has the stronger emotional core, and which film balances comedy and meaning better?
Yeah, I'm giving this one to Dogma because like there's like some actual like heartfelt moments in it, especially like when like Beth is breaking down, like where was God when like he took my womb and shit like that. Like there's like some actually hard hitting things where it's just like I never felt emotional at anything fucking Seth Rogen
No.
and co did. Like it's all a joke, and it's intentionally all a joke, but
They have
there
their
is no
little
heart because
makeup
of that.
as friends and everything,
Oh yeah,
which is
it's just
pretty
like I'm
much it.
sorry. Yeah, but yeah, there's really not a lot there. It's just kind of like we need to do this to finish the story
Right.
kind of thing, instead of like these characters are actually having epiphanies.
But Dogma will take a break from all the funny to give you, like, some of the best acting I had seen from some of these people. Like, all the scenes where Ben Affleck is ranting and, like, driving home real points about how Christians take their relationship with God for granted and all that stuff is just phenomenal. Like,
Yeah.
again, absolutely destroyed This Is the End in this
Went
category.
way harder than it needed to. Like,
Dude, for real, it's like the definition of that phrase. It was phenomenal. That takes us into round 7. The villains and the threat. Which movie creates the better conflict? This is the end. You got demons and the apocalypse. Dogma, you have fallen angels and challenging existence. Which threat feels more compelling? For this kind of came down to Azrael for me.
Yeah,
Kinda.
and he's not super threatening in this.
Well-
He kind of comes off as like demon bureaucrat to me a little bit.
Yeah, you got Azrael, and then you also have eventually Bartleby is the big villain of the movie.
Yeah,
Versus essentially CGI devil and Jonah Hill possessed.
yeah, but I guess if we're talking about like the threat specifically, like I feel like the threat is higher in This Is the End than it is. I mean, okay, the threat is end existence, but that's like this kind of like nebulous thing hanging over our head. Like decapitation like awaits right outside the door in fucking This Is the End. Like it's always there.
Yeah, I
And
guess
it's kind of creeping into the house.
for me, the transformation of Ben Affleck into a threatening angel was a bit more compelling to me than the overall
Yeah.
concept of the apocalypse outside.
The only issue I had with that was it's such a quick heel turn. Like they invert their personalities like in one scene.
For Ben Affleck, I don't feel like that was quick at all. I feel
Yeah, well,
like
at first he's
first
kind of like
half
he's
of the
kind of
movie, he's completely against everything Matt Damon's angelness stood for, and then it's
Yeah.
like mid-movie he just starts snapping out about the entire concept, and then it's like the last 20 minutes he's completely cracked. Like,
yeah.
so yeah, I mean, it was another super close one.
Yeah.
General end of days vibe versus I don't know. Watching the transformation, I eked it out with a 8 to 7 here. Neither one was super threatening, but
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go to the other way here. I'm gonna go to 7 to 6. Go into This Is the End, just because that demon dog was pretty goddamn good design.
it was a good design, and so was Satan's cock.
Yes. Yeah, we got to see Satan get his cock lasered off. That's a villain moment if I ever saw one. I'd hold up to the sky and scream, "Why, God?"
Round 8. Oh shit. Hit the wrong button. Round 8. Most memorable moments. Which one delivers more unforgettable scenes, cameos, quotes, outrageous sequences? Which one sticks with you longer? I kind of focused heavy on quotes here.
Yeah, I think that the quotes is going to be doing a lot of heavy lifting, because visually, more memorable moments I would say come from fucking This Is the End, just like the hills of Los Angeles on fire, and like, not to harp on Satan's cock, but Satan's cock. The whole demon rape thing or rape thing, the whole like Jonah Hill going full exorcist and stuff like that. Like,
and the quotes. There was definitely a lot of lines quoted from This Is the End when it came out. Like he gots to go.
Yeah. I'll jizz on everything.
Yeah, and I don't know a super lot of lines I've ever heard quoted from Dogma other than the small amount of people that I know who love Dogma.
And most of them are Jay and Silent Bob-isms, which you can get from
literally
other
any
movies.
of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, there's a lot of like talking and like good philosophical ideas and scenes and stuff, but there's not like a lot of big like moments in Dogma, except like at the very end, pretty much.
Right. Which, like I said, that you got the memed Buddy Christ moment, you got the memed Just Do It moment from Ben Affleck, but that's pretty much it. And most people don't even know where they came from. But with any Judd Apatow movie comes quotes that people will say forever. Until the next Judd Apatow movie. But I would say that I think one of the strengths of Dogma and that style of comedy movie before Judd Apatow is they weren't looking for the summer blockbuster quote moment. They were, Kevin Smith just likes to make movies.
Yeah, Kevin Smith will make movies that no one's watching.
Yeah.
Which,
and make them
as witness-
fantastic for no one.
yeah, except maybe Yoga Hosers, but we'll look past that one.
Yeah, no. All due respect to his daughter, I didn't need that.
No. that was his fucking what was the Will Smith fucking Jaden Smith one, After Earth or whatever.
That was a bummer. I was looking forward to another Kevin Smith movie, but yes, I also choose to just not acknowledge his existence.
Ooh. You ever seen Tusk? Tusk was fucked up.
Yes, I have. I think we have Tusk versus something on here, and if we don't, that's a crime, and we need to fix that.
Yeah. Gotta find some good body horror.
I was traumatized. Everyone was traumatized by that movie.
Yeah. Fuck Kevin Smith. Where's our quirky stoners?
That came from a dark place.
Yeah.
Round 9 should be no contest, I think.
No.
The Message. I'm not even going to expand on that.
Let's just go 1 to 10, because the message of fucking this is the end is we're a bunch of vapid assholes who fucking save ourselves with the skin of our teeth at the last fucking second. Whereas, yeah, the message and fucking, like, just the whole, like, ideas and beliefs fucking thing, like Rufus says, is fucking great, and the world needs to fucking embrace way fucking more, but, yeah.
And I love
No
the
one
metaphor,
listens.
the moment where she's talking about how much nicer it was to believe when she was younger, and now it's, you know, not having that anymore sucks. Yeah. No contest. Dogma has a message.
Yeah.
This is the end does not.
No.
And as always, round 10 is the final verdict. Gut check. Strip everything away. Which one do you like better overall and more likely to revisit?
Yeah, I mean, it's yet again, there's no contest. I mean, I'm going like a 10, like not as bad as the other one, I'm like 10-5, but like I'm going Dogma because it's a piece of art. Like I saw it at a pretty young age, and it like really helped develop like some of my views on the world and how certain things don't need to be concrete and different people have different views on different shit. Because you know, in a little religious school, you don't get those fucking views and stuff, and like
Exactly.
and actually, yeah, you just it's like no, God is real and nothing else is real, and it's like all the other gods they're fake, but our God is real.
Yeah, that was part of what made Dogma so special, is it felt like I was doing something secret and sinful by watching it, and over time it's just gotten better to me. And then the fact that Lionsgate tried to snuff it out, like it seems like my entire life people have been trying to keep me from watching Dogma, and then makes it so much better with
Some
the
forbidden
theme of
fruit.
it and everything. It's just perfect. Like I obviously went into this with a semi-favorite. I do love This Is the End. But yeah, it absolutely destroyed This Is the End for me. It's
But
so
yeah.
fucking good.
But yeah, it's a cool piece of pop art versus like a fucking Rembrandt, basically.
Yes. Yes. If I made a vault of all the most important movies in my life, Dogma would be one of the very first ones.
Yeah, but it's in the Nectarian collection.
Exactly. Exactly. Bunch of Kevin Smith movies would be in there, actually.
Yeah.
Even
I think
Tusk,
pretty much
'cause
all
it's
of them.
important to be shocked like that.
Yeah, I think basically all of them except Yoga Hosers.
Yep. But with that, tonight your judges have scored this fight unanimously. Nick scoring this matchup 5-4, going to Dogma. I scored it 7-3, going to Dogma, making tonight's winner between Dogma and This Is the End, Dogma. Yeah.
Deservedly so, I believe.
I hit too many buttons I can't hear. Okay.
Just flashbang yourself.
Yeah, this was a fun matchup. Again, my only critique might be that I didn't need it to be so goddamn long, bro.
Yeah, oh no, fucking yeah, no. This Is the End needed a fucking editor.
And
But it should
Dogma,
have- that
every
has
bit
to
of it
happen.
mattered, but again, I feel like there's a couple things they could have taken out because
Yeah.
couldn't fit these both into a single night, which I like to do. So,
Yep.
in a minute, we're going to spin a wheel to let you know what episode we're doing next. But first, we're going to leave you with a few trivia facts. Only a few because we're over on time.
Hey, hey, Nick and Devin, movie trivia time! Movie trivia facts. Nick and Devin, let's go fast. Movie trivia facts. Who knew that? We know that. We know that. Movie trivia facts.
I'll go first with This Is the End. Director Evan Goldberg created a game for himself during filming. The goal of the game was to get as many characters as possible to say, no, I can't do that, or get them to refuse to do something. According to Goldberg, the only people he was not able to break were James Franco and Seth Rogen.
Tracks.
Seth Rogen said he was shocked by how much the actors would insult each other. According to him, Jonah Hill and James Franco in particular seemed to go at each other the hardest. At one point, he felt like he had to intervene to remind them that they were actually friends and like each other.
Method acting.
Most of the paintings in the background were actually painted by James Franco. And finally, according to Seth Rogen, Danny McBride was the person who made everybody laugh and break the most. At one point, it took 18 takes and over an hour for the cast to get a joke on film because McBride kept making everyone laugh. I see that come up a lot, actually, like Eastbound and Down. There's a hell of looper takes because of him.
He's a G from what I understand.
I love Danny McBride.
Bill Donahue of the Catholic League lambasted the film and publicly protested against it for months without actually seeing it. When his office called View Askew and requested a special screening so he could speak about it intelligently, Kevin Smith responded, "So what has he been doing the past 6 months?"
That's fucking beautiful.
When Kevin Smith and Scott Mosey heard Alan Rickman was chasing Amy fan, they asked him to play Metatron. He read the script and came back with 2 questions. Would they stay faithful to the script, and were there real wings or CGI?
What the fuck does he mean? Are they real wings?
I think he just wanted the wings to be real. At around 3 minutes, the Buddy Christ statue that was used on film is on display as of mid-2019 at Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash, a comic book store in Red Bank, New Jersey, owned by Kevin Smith.
Wait, what? Well, we're taking a road trip. I didn't know that was a thing.
The movie restaurant playground was created especially for the movie. It is shaped like a giant meat grinder.
I don't even remember the playground.
Oh, yeah. It's like when he's like,
okay.
yeah. The hoods around the neck of the 3 angels in the film, Metatron, Barnaby, and Loki represent their halos on Earth.
That's fantastic. Yeah, real talk, if we get to 10,000 subscribers, me and Nick will record a road trip to New Jersey to go to this comic book shop. That's awesome. 10,000 subscribers. Currently seemingly unreachable goal. So someday.
Yes.
But with that, this is the first week of the 3-week cycle where we're going to spin a wheel and then another wheel to decide the next episode. So let me share my screen here. So first we spin, where is it? The wheel, which tells us which wheel to spin, which is a genre. We each have 1 veto. All right, playing on comedy.
All right. So it's dangerous using your veto on genre.
I think I have to. I have to try another category. We've done like 3 in a row. Okay. All right. We didn't land on the same one. It paid off a little bit. All right. Now to the badass wheel, which has just been updated. I don't think there was a super lot of additions to badass. Yeah, that would be hilarious. Here we go. Up to you. Jesus. Jarhead versus Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah, I don't want to be depressed. Let's spin it one more time.
There's a few of these that might be that. Oh! It almost landed on it. So we got Roadhouse versus Walking Tall, which I believe
Let's do it.
We are doing the new ones.
Yes.
Yeah,
Roadhouse.
So that means The Rock Walking Tall versus the new Jake Gyllenhaal Roadhouse. It was so close to Lock, Stock, and Smoking Barrel versus Snatch. That would have been fun. But this is fun as well. We debated on whether to do the old ones or the new ones, but I just don't feel like enough people have seen the original Walking Tall.
Yeah, I was going to say, we can get the Patrick Swayze fans in here, but no one's going to give a shit about the second half of that episode. No, I haven't actually seen the new Roadhouse yet, so we'll have to see that. I love the old one. So it's got a bit of some shoes to fill. We'll see.
I'll say right now, it was very heavily critiqued for definitely not doing it. You know, Conor McGregor's the bad guy, right?
Yeah.
I'll say right now, I liked it. It was corny, but every action fucking movie is, so I don't know what everybody expected from this, but Conor McGregor specifically caught a lot of flack for his acting in this
dude, if we can praise Commando and there's a fucking line in there, it's blow off some steam after we get stabbed with the steam pipe. I mean, we're not above any of this.
It's fine for the genre. It's to me, I will catch a lot of flack for saying this. It's as corny and good as the Walking Tall movie, so go fuck yourself. But yes, it is on Prime for free, I believe, so we don't need to pay for it.
Thank God.
But there you have it. Your winner tonight is Dogma. So fun. So glad we got a chance to praise that movie. And next week we'll be doing Jake Gyllenhaal's Roadhouse versus The Rock's Walking Tall. I haven't seen that one, I think, since I was 13, so I'm pretty psyched about that.
I think I saw that in theaters when it came out last time.
But, leave a comment. Let us know what you thought about this matchup, who you would have picked to win. Let us know what you think about the next one. Let us know know if you have a suggestion for another matchup. If we can think of a good matchup for Clerks, I'd love to hear it. I can't really think of
Yes.
one that has that level of niche nostalgia. So, but yeah, share the episode, like and subscribe. Specifically, download on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. I've recently learned from Reddit how important that number is. So please,
Yep.
Ron, you specifically, who I know listens to this every week, download the episode.
Yeah, just download it, delete it immediately. Don't gotta
Yeah,
listen to it. Just
sure.
hit that fucking download button.
But thanks for tuning in. I am Devin Vestal,
I'm Nick Nye.
and we'll see you next week.
Thanks for coming.